10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to Magic After Dark. My name is Ryan Edwards. This guy over here is
Blaze Sarah. Welcome everybody to the show. We are so excited for tonight's episode. This is going to be a blast.
Be a fun night. We started late tonight because we were having so much fun backstage getting ready for this episode. So that's why we're late. So this is going to be a lot of fun. This is going to be
an action-packed episode. It's got a lot of new segments for our repeat viewers. It's also apparently now a drinking episode as of 5 minutes ago.
Like 5 minutes ago,
It's been decided. So
I had to run and get a drink. So this will be a crazy episode. Should we bring in our guest?
No.
Let's just leave
her alone, chilling in the backstage area.
Someone says, "Wash hands, wash hands, wash hands."
Wash hands. I think this is definitely a viewer that we've gained from having Jackie Yu on the show because it sounded like he was Korean. But yes, we are very excited for tonight's guest.
That is true. I just met her for the first time live in person a couple weeks ago. And had an absolute blast. So I can't wait because I know tonight is going to be a lot of laughs, a lot of fun. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we have the one, the only Ekaterina.
How's it going, Ekat?
Good. Cheers, guys. I love the drinking episode.
Cheers.
To the drinking episode. She only has one name. She's like Cher. Actually, Ekat, if I had to pronounce your last name, I should have asked you while I was...
It starts with a D, right?
Starts with a D.
Yeah. Dobrokova or something?
That was very close. It's actually Dobrokhotova, if you're going to pronounce it the Russian way, but no one can do that.
Dobrokhotova?
Yeah, there you go. It's like the K-8 sound.
Wow. Yeah. It's like a Dobro Flem Otova. Dobrokhotova?
Exactly.
All right.
But yeah, no one
joining us.
My pleasure, guys. Thank you for having me, and I'm very excited to just hang out and it should be fun.
This will be chill. If you were to pronounce it as non-Russian as possible, what is the way that you tell everybody how to pronounce it?
Dobrokhotova.
Dobrokotova.
That sounds harder.
Yeah, right. It somehow added more syllables.
No one bothers. Yeah, when I was a kid, because I immigrated when I was 8 and I didn't know the language yet, I had a sticker with my name. That was the only way.
Oh, it was the only way? And it had first and last name?
Yeah, first and last name.
Did anybody get the part?
No. That's why it's like Kotova at the end. But even my first name, it was really a period of transition for me because in Russia, no one would call me Ekaterina. Yeah. Everyone would call me the Russian version of the name. Ryan, you may know the Russian version of the name.
What's the Russian version of Ekaterina? I thought Ekaterina was Russian enough.
So it is, but it's like the long name. For instance, another name is like Alexander. The short name is Sasha. It's completely different. Ekaterina, the short name, which everyone calls you by in Russia, it's Katya.
Yeah.
So you said Katya?
Katya. Mm-hmm.
Katya with an M at the end? Katya?
No, it's Katya.
Katya. So, okay, Katya.
All right. It. So that would be the Russian way. But since I'm not in Russia anymore, I couldn't get anyone to transition to saying that. So I just, people started to say Ekat because it was much shorter. So I'm like, okay, fine. And it kind of grew on me. So now I feel strange when even someone says Katya. I'm like, it's just Ekat or Kate or whatever. Yeah.
Well, speaking of Alexander or Sasha, Alexander says this girl kicks major ass. So it's starting off strong.
High expectations.
It's going to be a chill night.
So, well, thank you so much for joining us again. Like I said, when I met you, I said, hey, do you want to come on the podcast? I said, it's kind of no holds bars. We ask anything, kind of talk about anything, which... I mean, it's super relaxed where we try not to be a regular Magic podcast, asking the same questions every week and stuff. Because we really want to get to know you. And actually, one of my neighbors was over tonight and he started to watch all the episodes just recently. and he's got two sons that are really interested in magic. One really interested, and
How old?
The one is 17, or going to be 17 next month, and I don't know how old the younger one is, but he's only a couple of years younger. But they're super interested, and so they've been tuning in, and they said the favorite part of this is that they get to see magicians that they see on YouTube and TikTok and stuff like that, and get to see them be a real regular person and just, have a good time. That was my favorite thing. I was like, that's exactly what this is all about. We want to spread news to the magic community, give tips and stuff to help magicians out, obviously help their careers get better. But it's also about getting to know our guests on just like a personal level, where it's more like we're just hanging out, having a good time.
So get ready for the most personal questions you've ever
been. Yeah.
I'll give you personal. I'll give you personal.
Yes. But a testament. What were you going to say?
I was going to say it definitely felt a little bit like previous interviews I've had. There was a little filter that I had to apply.
Just the magic-y filter, or the professional TV filter?
The personal filters. Well, even like in any magic interview, like you have to kind of watch what you say because you get in trouble. So
no, this is the show where people get in trouble.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
We've had
Says Blair is in the house. Says Blair is watching.
I saw that. I loved it. I said, sorry I'm late. I was like, yes, he's in the house.
Says Blair is in the house. Says Blair is I don't even know if I can call it a fan account, but it is a person who makes the most outrageous memes of me whenever I do anything dumb on the show. So, that's the consequences of having a no filter show.
T Card says, I hate Says Blair.
Jeez, Travis, why are you saying this kind of stuff? I have a love-hate relationship with Says Blair.
I got to show you his one meme that he did, because it is my favorite, because I actually joined this one. It is
oh my god, I have seen that.
It is us singing. Let me put it in front of my face.
Now it's good. How did he do that?
He deep faked.
You were actually singing this?
No.
He
he's able to do this. This is his power, yo. He's able to take us and then make it look like we're saying stuff we never said. So
I've seen videos on YouTube of famous YouTubers, and then they make the move like to rowing astronauts, like rowing in something like this. But interesting. Okay, so he has skills.
It was amazing. I was like, when I saw that, he says, I have the power. Dream Upright is in the house as well. How's it going, man?
How's it going, Dream? Dream was in the 1v1 Magic tournament, which
he was. I actually still have to send him Dream Upright. I have not sent it. I did redraw the picture, though. He asked if I could resend him my score that I gave him in the contest.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So he wants to like frame it and put it up or something. So I was a judge in this magic contest, and so instead of putting out 8 out of 10, I drew faces with all the numbers made up into the face, and so
it was really creative. No, that was
works of art.
Awesome. Yeah. So if anybody's interested in the next 1v1 Magic tournament, when I run one, or just want to hang out with a bunch of magicians in the community, go to 1v1magic.com and you can join the Magic Discord and jam with a bunch of magicians like Ryan and myself. And it'll be a blast. But let's focus now on our guest, because
I saw that you are shuffling these up, and I got to thank you again. These are her sick deck of cards. So do you want to tell us, obviously you created them and stuff and brought them out, but how can people get their hands on these guys?
So I release limited quantities of now my private stock on my website. So I had it in sold out mode for the past month. But since my Penguin Electric came out 1st of August, I decided, you know what, I'm going to release some quantities. So it is currently on my site. If anyone wants to get one, it's available.
What is your site? So we can put that up on screen.
It's ecatmagic.com. So I kept it very simple. So you have it there. It's like the front page. You see it there. First thing that you see. I released. yeah, I released them 2 years ago, and I've just slowly been releasing a few of my private reserve because I decided, like, when I printed these, I'm like, I'm keeping 1,000 to myself. Like, I want this to be the deck of cards I use in all my gigs. So therefore, I need to destroy, create layers and gimmicks. So that's why I had so much. And I keep getting asked whether I'm going to release another one. And the answer so far is like, no, because I still have a good private reserve. And it's like for me now, and like for other people, I think those who really wanted it already have it. So, right now I'm good. Yeah. Plus it was like I really, like, looking back, I'm like, I could have bought a Tesla or printed a deck of cards. And
that's
now
a crazy thing, right?
I still drive a Mazda because of this deck of cards.
Jeez. So if you're interested in supporting ECAT and getting your hands on a limited edition deck of cards, go to the scrolling link at the bottom. ECAT.
Let's help her get a Tesla, guys.
Yeah, let's help her get a Tesla. This is the ECAT Tesla fund. It's like a GoFundMe, but you get a deck.
Yeah. The problem is you got to stop giving them away. Like I met you at Spidey's house a couple weeks ago, and helped you with a review for your show on a product that I didn't really like, to say the least. But she brought like 8 decks of cards, and I said, like, if I could take one, that would be great, or 2. I'll open one and then have one in my display. And she left all the decks since, and Spidey is like, no, she left those for you. You had to take them. He's like, I already have some. He goes, every time
Spidey doesn't have to worry about it. I try to break here and there.
Yeah. So I appreciate it a ton. It's now my go-to deck. So, but I did the same thing. I released 4 decks of cards now, and people don't understand how expensive and how time-consuming it is releasing a deck of cards. And you're like essentially putting up like 30 grand or something, hoping to then make that money back, as fast as possible. But it doesn't always happen that way.
And there's a few ways to go about it. And I had made a video of my learning experience of doing that. And that was well received because I basically could warn people about the process and like what's the best way, what's the level of risk that you should take. On my end, I took a high level of risk because it's kind of part of my brand. It's not like, it's not part of my brand to do a Kickstarter to start a fund me for my Tesla plan. Like I rather earn, my money and then just like release when it's ready. But that's kind of me. And I really feel like, it's a personal thing. But if anyone cannot take the risk, like I could take the risk of losing 25, 30K. But there's folks that shouldn't take that risk. It wouldn't be good financial advice. So Kickstarter in that case is better outlet.
Yes. Yeah. I did the same thing. Like I own RE Handcrafted, and I was like, I don't think it's great for a company that's doing well to then, Kickstarter something. And I've disagreed with big companies in the magic community doing that. Like, if you're a big enough company and you want people to support you, then just bring the product out. Why are you Kickstartering it? Because they don't want to put the money up front.
You'll see big companies, even like Illusionist or whatever, doing.
Yeah, and I never understood that. I understand what it does, and I do like this part of it is Kickstarter puts a rush on people buying the product. Yeah. Because if you have them on your website and they're constantly available, people are always like, I'll get them next week. Where Kickstarter puts that like 30 days rush on getting it. So it forces people to buy it. So I think that's brilliant. But I think that, bringing it out yourself could be more rewarding. And I think it's cooler to go like, I funded this myself. I did this, in the end.
And at the end, it's like, how confident are you in what you made? It's like, so, and there's a lot of people who don't like the fact that I didn't go with like custom faces but I'm like, but I need this to do magic also.
You did. There's one custom face right here.
There's the Jokers. And then there's the Ace, which is very minimalistic, but the rest, other than me switching the red ink to the red of the back, there's nothing custom. And then, a lot of folks like you missed the opportunities to do reveals on the cards and like print photographs. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know anyone, to be honest, that like anyone in like, again, I'm sorry if I'm insulting someone,
No.
but that go like, hey, it's holding a card.
Yeah. I mean, I think the only like the furthest example of that would just be like the, you know, like a queen is holding 2 of hearts or whatever is like the like the
subtle,
like acceptable kind of thing, because then it still looks like a normal card. But like there are so like, for example, there is a company that sends me decks all the time and wants me to do videos with them, and every single deck I'm like, this is a cool deck except for the faces, because I would never use them, you know. Like, for example, here's a deck by this company, and I think that it's like, all right, cool back, right? But I would never perform with faces like this, unfortunately, because they went the custom faces route. Yeah. And I think that it's a smart move to do the, you know, the regular faces route, because like this is a barrier to performing magicians. You know,
if you hold a card like this, people need to be able to tell what the card is.
Yeah,
so I learned,
you know,
I learned that the hard way.
Yeah,
because with Ari Handcrafted, I was doing my whole kind of niche was that everything I did was custom. Right. And so I was like, well, if I bring out a deck of cards, I want to fully customize everything. So we brought out these. And so these are the Victoria deck. And then it has
great, though.
Like the 4 of diamonds.
Really cool.
But it's crazy how many people
see
are
me
like,
performing with it.
The 4 of G's.
It looks great. You know? The 4 of G's.
Or like we did like the club. Right. And I think that's pretty easy to tell that is a club.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then so the spades and hearts, I could see people like, you know, we kept this circle motif going in everything. Right. And then we did the hearts is that. And then so people, I'm like, it's pretty easy to tell that it's a heart, but so many people will be like, oh, the 2 of owls.
2 of owls.
2 of owls. I don't know, man. I mean, people call regular clubs puppy feet, so like it's definitely true. Like.
But yeah, we did all like custom court cards and pips and stuff like. But
they look great. Like if you're someone who collects cards, I think that could be really attractive.
Yeah, that's why I did it this way. But yeah, in the end, I was like. Performing with them, I was like, I love them. I still use them because they're mine. And I think it's cool that I can say this is my own deck of cards. When someone goes, wow, these are different. I'm like, yeah, I made them. But at the same time, I do appreciate a deck with just regular pips and stuff. So
yeah, and people don't realize like, oh, you want to have your own custom deck. Like, oh, you're gonna print 2,500 of those. Like it's not just having your own deck. It's like it's a big investment to have your own deck. It's not a deck. It's over 2,000 decks.
Well, and that was so I created a deck. Eka, well, both of you guys have seen it. For my wedding in a couple weeks, and so that's the only way that you can get less cards. So I had to go with make playing cards. Which now has a linen finish, which I always liked linen playing cards back in the day, and no one makes them anymore. And then, but now they have a beta air cushion thing. So I was like, yes, I can get air cushion cards from them now. I mean, they're expensive. It's like $8 a deck or something like that, US.
How many quantities are you going for? Because I think it's 1,000, right?
No, I made 150. No?
Really? So they dropped their minimum quantities. That's what I love about these companies. They're really competing with the other guys. Like
you can do one deck if you want. It's like
one deck is like 15
or something.
15, 20.
Yeah, 15, 20 bucks.
But with the beta linen finish, like the thin one, they're like you can do one deck. Yeah, okay, it's been a while. I need to check them out.
Yeah. As far as I know, you can. Yeah, because I actually ordered 100, and then I said. You know, with the guests coming to the wedding, and I was like, I want to keep a couple, and a couple of the groomsmen are magicians, so I know they'll want more than one. And I was like, should probably order another 50. So
Okay.
there are 150 of them, and they will be for sale, a limited. No, I may put a couple up for sale afterwards if we've got a couple extra, or
Nice.
maybe a Magic After Dark giveaway one week. So
Yeah.
That'd be
But
cool.
this brings up an interesting topic, is the fact that there are decks that magicians would use that for example, magicians might not use a certain deck because of different faces or things, but it might be a great deck for cardistry. And that's a world that you are in more than either of us, Ekat, is like in the XCM cardistry world. Now, how long ago did you get involved in cardistry, and is it something that you've been in just as long as Magic, or like what was your kind of origin with getting involved in like that whole world of cardistry?
That's a really good question. So I discovered cardistry through YouTube. So Magic was my first entry. Like, I don't know, now it's cool that people get into Magic, but first started with cardistry. But yeah, first touch point was Magic, and then I started to post videos in 2007, which gives you my age a little bit. And I remember when I had 4 subscribers, and I remember even up to like 20 subscribers, I knew them all by name. They would comment. It would be like my little mini forum. And even one of my subscribers was really, really into cardistry, but at the time we wouldn't call it cardistry, we called it XCM. So I joined a forum that doesn't exist anymore. There's so many forums that don't exist anymore. So it was my YouTube channel / the forum. So I got really into chatting with this. So guys have been impacting, my entry to Magic and to cardistry in a weird way. So, I'm saying this because my first touch point was in Russia. I was in the circus, under 8 years old. I saw a magician that sparked an interest, but then you kind of let it go. You give up.
When you say 16, you were in a circus, you went to go see a circus, or
so
you were
I went
performing?
to see a circus show, and in Moscow there was like a proper thing to do. Like, you either go to the theater or you go to the circus, kind of entertainment. Yeah. And for New Year's we would go to the Kremlin, and there was other things there. So circus, super like normal activity. And there was a strolling magician when I was in the waiting line. He was dressed obviously like a circus person. He did one simple trick, which was vanishing a handkerchief. And I asked him, and I was like the shyest person, so it took a lot for me to say, like, how did you do it? I need to learn. And he said, you would just need to join the circus. So I started, like, as a kid, try to learn how to juggle, which I succeeded at. But,
wow.
I didn't pick anything up again. I know my mom tried. She bought me a Magic kit, and I'm like, I don't read very well. I'm still a kid, and this is too complicated in French. And it was really crappy material. Maybe that's why I'm reviewing Magic now. I don't like to receive shitty Magic, but it was really bad. And I just let it go. And then obviously watching TV, you see David Blaine. I'm like, this is so cool, but I don't know where to learn this. And there was a guy when I was 16 who was interested in me, who's just randomly hey, let me show you a trick. I'm like, cool, I want to see the trick. He shows me a very simple classic pass, and then combined with an ambitious card. And I'm like, I want to learn that. How did you do it? And he's like, here's a DVD from Illusionist. I'm like, you just buy it? Okay, he was Russian. So he's like, no. Anyway, I don't say that, but it was like a torrented DVD kind of thing. So no one knows that. I'm like, yeah, he just gave me the DVD.
So it was illusionist.ro instead.
It was the Ninja series or whatever it's called. And he gave me that, and it's cards and sleight of hand and all this, obviously nothing with cardistry. Yeah, I started to learn, but not too intense. I preferred hanging out with him, and we were both doing this course for pre-medicine. Actually, we were in health science, so we were smart kids. But very quickly, my education went downhill, and I went into marketing. But yeah, he noticed also. I guess it was impacting, and I was starting to take on shows and performing to people. 16, you're very excited, and people enjoy watching Magic, and it's allowed me to meet other people. And so he was like, I have to focus on my studies. I think we shouldn't hang out anymore. That really upset me. So I picked up the DVD again, and I really got into learning properly. And I'm like, I'm going to become a better magician. And yeah, I don't think he ever made it to become a doctor. He went for, I think, an anesthesia now, like still finished university. But anyway, I finished university in marketing. But we went, like, never spoke to the guy again. But so that was like a trigger. Like I needed something like a kind of, you know, fire in your belly. Like, okay, like I need like a motive, a challenge. So that was it. And then, yeah, I very quickly started to post YouTube videos, and then magic took over, and my interest for school or college or health or science went down.
Did you post any YouTube content that wasn't magic at the beginning? Or
No,
was it always magic
it was
from the start?
Always magic from the start. And my first videos were me teaching, like, here's how to do the classic pass, here's how to do the turnover pass. And that's why, like, my subscribers really played a role in how my channel panned out, because they're like, you know, don't do that. Like it's not a good start. Now, like, I have obviously different opinion, but at the time I decided not to piss off the magic community. And I'm like, I need them to be open to help me learn. And like, there's many things I don't know. So I decided not to confront anyone and just post performance videos. But very quickly, like, I did a lot of like street magic videos, and I'm like, you know, and then with interacting with my subscribers, they introduced me to XCM. I joined other forums. And so there was one, again, guys play a bit of a role in my development years. There was one guy, but it's a bit of a sad story and I don't tell it. And there's some people, OG people, like hardcore, who remember this really, really well, but most people don't know anything about it now. But it's a bit of a sad story. So there's this one guy who was maybe 5 years older than me or 6. Anyway, but I was 17. So obviously the guy is over 21. So that kind of relationship may seem a bit weird on YouTube when you interact with someone. But I'm 17, like fearless. I'm like, let's meet up in the US. You know, it was from the US. He was in the Massachusetts area. And I'm like, you know, my family, you know, has a whatever place in Vermont. Let's kind of meet halfway. So, but anyway, we didn't end up meeting there because Vermont was pretty far from Massachusetts. So we ended up going to Hampton Beach. And that's the first time I met him. So the videos of us jamming and performing XCM together, like just as friends, are all over his YouTube channel till this day, because I don't think YouTube removes anything, even if something happens to you. So yeah, we started to chat. He really pushed me. Like he was really a lot, you know, more skilled in that. And again, that was another motive to kind of catch up, because even in the comments when we were doing these jam videos, everyone was like, yeah, you know, Ekat really sucks. like it's really nice, you know, vibe that these videos give, because we would like do 3, 4, 5, you know, minute videos where, you know, you're hanging out and you're jamming. And that really picked up, and a lot of cardistry videos of people just jamming came out after those. So I feel like we set the vibe of what those jam videos should look like. Yeah. But yeah, so quickly kind of asked me out. So we did a long distance thing. Again, I was 17, going from time to time to the US. So it was really not a lot of touch points. And I was really impatient. So I think I was, but it was long distance for like maybe a year and a half. And then at some point I was like, you know, I'm done my marketing degree. So, and like magic is going really well. Like,
where were you studying for your marketing degree?
I was studying in Montreal, so Concordia University. I did John Molson School of Business, which no one knows this university. Everyone knows McGill, but I didn't want to pay for the most expensive education.
That's where my fiance went to, was McGill.
Nice, that's it. So everyone knows McGill, but you pay like 4 times more. So no one knew Concordia. But honestly, like I entered like the biggest marketing gig, as you know, marketing with that. No one cares about where you went to university if you're like unique.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to worry about that. But so anyway, that guy, his name is Jay Fry, and I'll put in the, if you wanted to spy and see the history of our videos. Again, I can't take them down. But yeah, so I'm like, am I moving to the US or are you moving to Canada? Like, what is the future of this? And so it was interesting to me to know, Ryan, you know, in your cards, there was like a sketch of the Bible, and you know, I'm a Christian, right? So for me, it's like, you know, marriage is important, you know, so the guy obviously wasn't, you know, in any kind of faith at that point. And I'm like, I, you know, I need a serious commitment. And I'm like, 19, right, and ready for, to get married. So that scares off anyone. So anyway,
Yeah.
I kind of like, okay, I'm not gonna waste my time. Sorry, and I left that relationship. So he dated other people. I started dating someone else as well. So for me, after like at 20, I had met my now husband. So we've been together for 12 years. So I was very serious about my commitment.
Yeah.
And just having that part of my life kind of done. But the sad part is, so it was 2014. I had my kid 2014, so I was 25 when I had my kid. And he messaged me, he's like, congrats on becoming a mom, you'd be a cool mom. And we chatted, and I'm like, we should do another jam video, like, as friends. Obviously invite other people. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, like, why are we kind of, not staying friends? Like, it's silly. It's been so many years. I have a kid, you have whatever relationship. And shortly after, he passed away. So it was very sudden. He was diabetic. I don't know exactly. No one could really tell me because I'm not very close to his family, right? But he just passed away. That was really, really hard, even though we worked together for many, many years. I'm like, life is crazy. Like, imagine I had gone the path of being with this guy. Yeah. Like, I would be a widow right now.
So, yeah. No, that's crazy.
So it's crazy. Yeah. So that's, I felt like I lost someone that I was pretty close with very early in life. Usually people live a little bit longer, right?
Yeah. How old was he when he passed away?
Wow, he was under 30. Well, no, actually, no, he was pretty much 30 or 31. Sorry, yeah, I was 25.
That's amazing. That's crazy and incredible to hear the context around it, because I remember a while ago seeing this video, a tribute to Jay.
Yes,
Carter Street collaboration.
Video.
And that.
So I made the jam happen. I'm like, we didn't do the jam video, and I asked all his friends to do it.
Nice. That's awesome.
So that kind of that's kind of my cardistry history.
Yeah.
Wow.
And why I'm like so into this. And there's some moves that I really like care sharing with people and teaching them because they're from him right at the end. Nice. So it's like people live on through the videos they post, through things, you leave and you share. So I always find it's a bit hairy, it's like annoying when people are like, why are you teaching so many things? I'm like, if you don't share it, what's going to happen to it? It's just going to die.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Jay was kind of your bridge into the cardistry community. Like, he was your connections. What were you going to say, Ryan?
Oh, I was going to say, it's crazy how like the magic community becomes like this tight-knit family where, like, even magicians that we don't know, like we see on Facebook and stuff all the time, like, this person passed away. And it's like, you feel it. You're like, oh, a piece of the magic community just, passed or whatever, and it's crazy because like now I would consider like Blaze like my little brother. No, we've gone like 30 weeks talking every week.
30 weeks talking. Yeah, we gotta both hold in there, man. We can't. Yeah.
I talk to Blaze now more than I've talked to friends that I've been friends with for 20 years because most podcasts are 3 hours times 30 weeks.
And we'll talk throughout the week, planning stuff for the podcast, and
I'm like, wow, like this is crazy.
Which is crazy because we still haven't met each other in person, but I feel like you're a good friend now.
Exactly.
Which is like I guess a cool thing with COVID, is like that.
That's
forced us to be able to connect with people. Regardless
everything became long distance.
Everything became long distance. The way that you correspond with somebody that's across the world is the same way you would correspond with someone that's a few miles away, because in lockdown everything's virtual, so you end up making new friends.
Ekat, it's funny that you mentioned that you're a Christian, and we're both friends with Spidey, which that's very hard. No, I'm joking. Spidey watches quite often. Spidey is a very outspoken atheist, but he always says to me that he respects me because I have a degree in religion and theology, and so he's always like, at least you researched it and then made your decision, and you didn't just like blindly just go, Your parents
Yeah.
believe in God, so you believe in God, and so he at least respects me that way. So
Yeah.
but,
Yeah, I mean, I was again, because I went into health science. I like to think I used to be a smart kid. So I was before I was 16. I had read the Bible cover to cover like 4 times.
Crazy.
Now I'm doing much worse at maintaining my reading, but it's I was really into, and again, it comes with that curiosity, right? And none of my family, like my husband and my son, obviously share the same faith, but my family, my mom, like they don't. So I wasn't brought up in that. So it's I've had tough conversations, and actually, so my husband, he's from Lebanon, so his side are actually more like Muslim, like they're more like we kind of open to anything, but more on the Muslim side, I would say, than Christian. So obviously that part when we started dating was a little bit difficult because I'm like, you kind of have to convert. We're gonna get married in church.
Pretty sure.
There's a couple issues where we definitely don't see eye to eye on, and we got to work these out.
Yeah, but for me, so I do feel like I had researched enough, and I was thirsty like to get to the bottom of things, and so for me, it's. I feel even if you're an atheist, I feel you have faith in that belief that you chose, because there's certain things you still have to accept by faith. Like you don't know. So,
yeah. Well, it's great news though, because now I know the next time I come down and stay with Spidey, I can call you over to tag me in when we're having that crazy debate. Me and Spidey have had like 5-hour debates before, and
really,
oh yeah. Man. Yeah.
No, I don't know. I've had. I remember I've been a few times to Vegas, and I've chatted with Andre G about it, but I don't think I've ever had that chat with Spidey. I don't know if he knows that I'm even Christian or like how. I mean, you can tell that I have a lot of.
He does now. Does it? Would you like if you were to fall within a denomination? Would it be like Russian Orthodox kind of belief, or did I just put you in that blindly, and that has nothing to do with it?
Just like,
where is my big
she's
cross?
Russian, so
I mean that would be the logical association, right? With the background, but like I mentioned, I didn't grow up.
Gotcha. So it's just like
Orthodox. Yeah. So I would say non-denominational would be the closest one. I mean, I struggle, and again, this is from my research and from just reading the Bible, I struggle with like objects and like saints and like, like you just have one God, right? So why are we, and so I had one of my previous bosses in marketing. He was like the president of the division at L'Oreal that I was working for. And he was studying to become like a Catholic priest. So we had very interesting, like I was debating with him. I'm like, look at what you guys are doing. But yeah, he was like, so I was telling him like, I struggle because you have a checklist and you follow a checklist, light a candle, do this, do that. Like I struggle with that because I fall short every day of that checklist. Like I can't, Yeah. So he's like, it helps me maintain discipline. I'm like, but you don't earn anything. Like, so I struggle with like trying to earn something because at the end we all fall short. How many times, we still kind of.
We all do, always. Yeah. Nobody's perfect. Yeah. I think that, I totally understand that. I think that for me, like, I guess, my family's Catholic and I fall more under the, I guess, Catholic umbrella, even though there are certain things that I question or disagree with that are specifically Catholic, and I'm still trying to understand. I've found that I'm a very scientifically minded person, and evolutionarily and like Darwinian biologically minded person, but the more that I learn about science and the more that I learn about religion and my faith, the more that I find that they reconcile and they don't differ. They actually meet in the middle and they work together, So I think that, and also we probably shouldn't like make this a whole faith discussion on this. This is Magic After Dark, but like it's interesting that we have 3 people.
Said no filters.
Yeah, I know. We never talk about religion on this. The only time that we talked about religion was kind of when Aussie was on here, and we more just sat back and let him talk about like what was going on in Israel and Pakistan, but or Palestine. But for me, I think that science gives you information and facts about how things are, but does not give you a sense of morality of how you should orient yourself within that world. It's like, how things are, but how should you act? How should you live your life? And, I think that faith has encapsulated within it a lot of wisdom that is important, and like people kind of throw the baby out with the bathwater, where they go like, oh, we don't need that because we have science now. And it's like, just because you know the facts doesn't necessarily mean that you have like a moral foundation. And I feel like even knowing all of the facts, how do you know what decision to make? Like, how do you have the courage to get out of bed in the morning and go, I'm going to step foot into the darkness, into the unknown, not knowing what's going to happen today, but I'm going to have the courage knowing that there's light at the end of this darkness, and I feel like, faith is what gives me the courage to be able to go like, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what all the rest of the people in the world, what their agenda is, but I'm going to step forward on this path, knowing that, I'll get to the destination in the end, and there will be light at the end of this unknown, But,
if I can give advice to magicians, and it's not faith related, but I'm going to make an analogy. So when I had, again, I'm kind of giving it out of context, but when I had left L'Oreal after like 9 years of doing marketing with them.
This is L'Oreal, not Wilfrid Laurier, right? Totally
no,
different.
Like L'Oreal,
L'Oreal.
All
Okay.
the L'Oreal, Paris, Garnier,
gotcha.
all their 35 plus brands.
Yeah.
So when I had
the company
left, so the company, so they were managing my finances. They were managing, how much you invest in my retirement, like everything basically. And when I had left, it was the first time where I'm like, shit, I have to take care of these accounts myself. Like contribute myself to like my pension plan or whatever. Like, it's so annoying. So I had met with a financial advisor that took care of my portfolio transition. And he's like, and I was just chatting with him this week. He's like, you need to move into another bracket or whatever. Please put more money in your account. But anyway, he's like, you're getting all these, you didn't put enough money. But he said something to me, again, not related to faith there, but it made me think, and I could tie it a little bit there. So he said, because I didn't, after, losing my insurance, I'm like, I'm still fairly young. I'm in my early 30s. Like, do I really need to pay for short-term disability insurance? And what that is like about $150 a month. And anything that happens to you, whether it's like, maybe you just feel down, someone died and you feel down and you can't go to work, like that would pay, like you would still get equivalent of whatever you were making. So it's, so he was telling me, what if you had a machine in your basement that could print money? Would you insure it? Would you pay $150 a month to insure it? I'm like, yeah. He's like, you need to insure yourself. If you don't make money, you can't, your family can't make it up. Like, you can't pay your mortgage. Yeah. So that really kind of struck a chord with me. And till now, like, it's been 2 years after L'Oreal, I'm paying that $150 a month till now. And yeah, so in the same thinking, like, don't you, like, let's say those who are atheists, like, and believe that there's nothing, don't you want to get insurance just in case there is something, kind of thing? No, like, if you're
just in case
more
there
on
is
the
a God,
side,
And all of this, ladies and gentlemen, came from a joke about Spidey. But
long story short, get insurance and invest in your pension plan. That's kind of my advice.
It's always smart.
And I remember when I met Farquhar, a fellow Canadian, when I met him and I asked him, this was like when I was very early on in a magic career. I guess relatively speaking, I still am early on in a magic career, but like quite a few years ago when I asked him, saying that I wanted to pursue magic as a career, I said, what is, some advice for me trying to make this, my full-time job. And what he said had nothing to do with magic. His piece of advice was invest in high-risk mutual funds. He was like, while you're young, you can take the risk for exponential growth. And it was like, he was actually giving me practical financial advice,
nice.
And
That's
you're
true.
right. It's like,
That's true,
start investing early, invest in yourself, like, exactly. And
No, 100%.
have faith.
So I think it might be time for our first segment.
It's time for us to find out a little bit more
a little bit more. Let's
Ekaterina.
Let's dig into Ekat's mind a little
You know
bit
what time it is, Ekaterina? You know what time it is? It's that time.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time. It's time for 20 questions. It's time for 20 questions. Yeah. It's time for 20 questions. It's time for 20 questions. Yeah. Put 2 minutes on the clock. 2 minutes on the clock. Put 2 minutes on the clock. 2 minutes on the clock. Here we go.
So I want to know who did the voiceover for this one. Ryan? Okay.
That's me.
My man's. All right, now we have. It still says Marco Tempest at the top of our Q&A note.
You know, that's how I find it every time now. I just look for Marco Tempest. I keep so many notes on my phone, and I'm looking down, and I'm like, because we've got all this wedding stuff, so I've got like guest lists and everything on my notepad, and so I'm constantly looking through, and then I'm like, Marco Tempest. Yep, there it is.
Yeah, you just have to not mix in your vowels. That would be good.
That's it. Yeah. Do you, Marco Tempest, take? No, I'm sorry. wrong note. Sorry.
So as you can see, Ekat, we got 2 minutes on the clock.
Wait, 2 minutes for 20 questions.
2 minutes to answer as many questions as you possibly can within the time frame. We hope you can get to 20 questions. All right.
We've only had a few people get through all of them.
Yes.
We ask you to give us honest, quick answers, and just don't say Blaze Sarah for everyone.
We have gotten Blaze Sarah for a few question and answers. All right. We've gotten Ryan as well. All right. So ready. 3, 2, 1, go.
Favorite color?
Red.
Biggest pet peeve?
Someone who doesn't wash their hands after they touch raw meat.
Where did you grow up?
Moscow, Russia.
What always makes you laugh?
My kid.
What's your secret talent?
Cardistry.
Not a secret, but
not a secret. Okay.
First time you ever saw a magic trick?
You know, at that circus when I was under 8 years old. Yeah.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
It would be not to have to sleep.
Dream performance venue?
Anywhere in Vegas, really.
Most cherished memory?
I would say when my son was born.
Favorite food?
Butter chicken.
Oh, favorite movie?
I'm gonna say The Illusionist.
Favorite pizza topping?
Pepperoni.
Favorite magician?
David Copperfield.
If you won the lottery, what's the first thing you'd buy?
A Tesla. Just kidding. I would invest the money.
What's your most highly recommended magic product or book?
I would say Venom Reel.
Favorite TV show?
90 Day Fiancé.
Guilty pleasure?
Eating chocolates, drinking wine.
If you had one wish, what would you wish for?
I would wish for more time.
Favorite toy growing up?
Plushie toys.
And we're on the last question,
19.
question 20.
Let's just ask it.
The hardest question of them all.
Question.
Favorite sports team?
Favorite sports team? Wow, I don't follow sports.
The question that stumps every magician.
The question that stumps every magician. How many times have we actually gotten an answer for that question, man? It's very few times that we've actually gotten an answer.
I think Eric Leclerc, may have said the Habs or maybe the Ottawa Senators because he's from Ottawa.
Eric Leclerc, he was saying how he plays frisbee a lot. He's very athletic in that sense.
Frisbee is very athletic.
Yeah. I think I might be the only magician that watches sports. I don't know. Maybe maybe that's.
I've been watching the Olympics a lot.
I don't know if
I
that
haven't seen
counts.
anything from
No.
the Olympics.
You haven't
That's
watched
because
any of
there's
the
no-
Olympics?
There's
I
nothing
know.
else on TV other than the Olympics. It's on like 93
I don't
channels
even
for
have
every reason.
TV.
I see.
How are you watching 90 Day Fiance?
I buy it through Apple. I buy it.
So
iTunes.
rather than
Oh.
paying for cable, you pay specifically just for 90 Day
Yeah, I
Fiancé.
drop like
I mean,
$35.
why
for the
not
whole
get
season.
just all of TLC
That's amazing.
and then you can see any of the TLC show? Is it TLC,
So
right?
I can't, no, but that would be like buying TV and then having to wait till it airs. Like, I just
Oh,
rather
that's true.
watch
Yeah,
on
that's
demand.
true.
I don't watch anything at the same
It's
time.
hilarious, right? 90 Day Fiancé, because isn't it just like the weirdest people?
Like, I
Oh.
love, it's like there's a few shows. There's The Bachelor or The Bachelorette or Bachelor in Paradise, and then there's 90 Day Fiancé. And my husband keeps making fun of me. He's like, it's literally stupid. Like, why are you watching this? And I'm like, I need something like this at the end of the day. I just like low brain cell kind of activity.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it funny? I was telling the guys that were over tonight at my place. I said I watched like the worst movie on Amazon Prime a couple days ago, and it's like one of their like movies that they're pushing, and it's about
Which
like
was-
this. It's this girl. She's
Jolt?
like, no, Jolt was cool. I didn't mind Jolt. It was kind of crazy cool. But there was another one where it's like she's flying to a wedding and she's like in Jamaica or something like that, and the pilot dies, and like it.
Yeah, no, I
she's
haven't
with
seen it.
her. She's with like her old lover or something, and they're trying to land a plane. And it was like terrible acting. It was a pretty terrible storyline, but and my neighbor goes, "But you watched the whole thing, right?" And I was like,
Like, yeah.
"Yeah, why?
Of course.
Why not? I watched it at
Of
2
course.
o'clock in the morning or something like."
I mean,
at
bad
that
movies
point.
are sometimes the best, but yeah, it's
This
like,
was
it
hilarious
depends.
because
It's
like
hilarious.
they're running out of gas, and she gets out and like crawls on the like kind of full spread eagle, shimmies across the wing, and his arm is like busted, and so he's passing alcohol out the window, and she's pouring alcohol into the
What?
gas tank, and they're like, "It's working, it's working." I'm like, the plane is not running on alcohol, and they're like, "Oh yeah," they said that the guy's booze that he made, I guess, for them was basically alcohol or basically gasoline. They said, and I was like, "Oh, this is so stupid."
Jeez.
But
I watched
but-
a movie the other night that was called. Oh, what were you gonna say?
Oh,
What's
I
the
was
but?
just gonna say you do need those things. Like they just let you escape
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
world and go.
Exactly.
I see. Rise the Magician said, "Did
Yeah.
someone say?"
Oh no,
bad
Reese is the king of bad movies. He has a whole little like index card fully. I know him from the Magic Discord, oneviewonmagic.com. He has a whole list of the worst movies, and he has like a
I need
checklist of the
I
ones
need
that
the
he's
list.
watched. Oh
I
yeah,
definitely
well
need
we'll have to have Reese send it in because yeah, he knows all of the worst movies. I mean, he's the one that told me about Velocipaster and Lamageddon and Lavalantula and all of this craziness.
Oh.
Yeah, and he's
Why?
seen all of them. He's like seen all of them. But I saw a movie the other night that was called The Ice Road, and it was with Liam Neeson, and it was basically
Okay.
like Liam Neeson getting to be a badass for the entire time, even though he's like a million years old. But the issue with the movie was that the bad guy just keeps coming back to life. Like he gets blown up in a Jeep and like thrown into the ocean through like a cracked ice. And there's like an avalanche. And he's just like, this bad guy goes through everything. And he comes back like 10 times. And he's never dead. And he just keeps coming back. And then it's just more fight scenes with Liam Neeson somehow overpowering this 20-year-old dude, even though he's a million years old. And it was like, is this whole movie just Liam Neeson trying to flex on us and act like he's that tough? It was hilarious.
Come on,
Reese
I might
says
have shown.
Velocipaster is a modern day masterpiece.
I might have shown you Lavalantula because I did. Send
You
a picture
did show
of
me
that one.
Lavalantula. You did. Yeah. I was wrong about that.
We had Lavalantula, Croczilla. Croczilla was another one.
I have not seen that.
Looked,
Okay.
looked pretty bad. What was the one? I remember
I think Lavalantula was the one that you texted me about, and I was dying laughing just at the name Lavalantula.
Yeah,
like it's a lava tarantula.
Yeah, they spit lava. Like, So what we were doing was, or what I was doing anyways, was after each episode of Magic After Dark, I would go into the bedroom and put on a just horrendously bad movie and fall asleep to that. There was one, what was it? Shark. Oh, I forget what it was. It was about a shark, but you never see the shark the entire movie. You just see like water moving and stuff. So, well, have I seen Rubber?
Oh, Rubber is about a tire that has psychokinetic, like PK powers, right? So you got a PK ring. This is a PK tire. It's a tire that rolls around and then shoots people with laser vision.
No, this is happening tonight.
People
I will give my review on the movie next week on Magic After Dark.
Now we have a 21st question in the 20 questions, Ekat.
Oh, tell me.
Would you rather look like a potato or feel like a potato?
Feel like a potato.
Feel like a potato.
We have a lot of guests on the show that look like potatoes already, so they sometimes.
So Ekat chooses
a potato with hair
instead.
Yeah.
But just coming back to movies, I don't know if you've seen. So one of my sisters, like, you really have to watch the scary movie It 2, and I haven't watched It 1, but she's like, it's on Netflix. I mean, I'm not saying it's good or bad. Like, so anyway, I watched it with my son, my 7-year-old. He's like, it's not scary at all. Like, what's this Pennywise deal? Like, or just like, whatever. But I'm accepting a few in-person shows, and me and my son have been working on a really cool, like, kid, like, set, and I will show you one of the tricks that I with the Pikachu later. But basically, I have one prop, and I'm gonna retire it from my set because it's just really annoying. But you probably know, like, to make like the light, the when you drive, you see this light. It has green, yellow, red, right? You know that trick. Yeah. So it has this thing to vanish the last ball, and on most of these props, there's like a clown drawn on one of the doors, the one that disappears. But it looks like a bit of a scary clown. So I actually, like, if I was a kid, like 5 or 6, I'd probably be scared of that clown. So I haven't had a chance prior to this gig I was doing to cover that, because I was going to put like Elsa or something nicer on it. So it was still the clowns. I'm like, shit, I'm not going to scare all the kids. So I just, I try to warn the kids. I'm like, this red ball has to go in this really scary box. It has a clown on it. Have you seen a scary clown before? And all of them, and these are 5-year-old kids, they're like, Pennywise. So parents have watched this It thing on Netflix and had their kids around. I'm like, I'm not the only one. Is it crazy? Yeah. So everyone, recognized, and it was actually better in that it stayed the clown, because then they're kind of, okay, that's why the red ball disappeared. But anyway,
they all had nightmares that night now, and Ekat is never doing a kids show again. Around Montreal.
But I can show you. I can show you the Pikachu one. I think it's cute. I just received it randomly in the mail, and I'm like, I have to maybe try this. I showed it to my son. He's like, this is cute. Can I have it? And I'm like, no, I need it. But here, I don't know if it's performance segment time, but here's a cute
You can
Pikachu.
absolutely do performance segment time if you'd like. Oh wow, there's a bunch of Pikachus.
Isn't it cute?
They're all different Pikachus.
It's really cute. And again, when I received this, I had 0 instructions with it. Some, like, no download, no nothing. It just had these cards, and I had to figure out the handling. So it might not be perfect, but it's what I figured out. So what happens is you have to catch them all, right? So I caught the first one, and I'm like, let's try something. You just have to tap the ball. And here's the second one. Again, I have no pattern yet for this, but I think there's 2 left. We're gonna do this. You guys act so impressed that the Pikachu has
another ball
all turned, right?
Whoa! Nice.
So again, 0 handling for this. And here's the fun part, which my son really wanted to keep, and I'm scared to perform this because everyone will want to keep it.
Nice.
Is that Pikachu's right here?
Oh, that's a good ending.
That's cool.
So everyone will want to keep it. That's the problem.
Every kid is going to be like, I want Pikachu. You're going to get like 50 of them every time you go to a party.
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, so I haven't showed this yet, but I maybe that will replace the scary clown segment. But I was asked the other day, because I was doing promoting my Penguin Magic lecture, and I was answering questions on Instagram, And people are genuinely curious, like, how do I make money doing magic? And full disclosure, I say, you know, I'm a mom, I'm a marketer, and I'm a magician. So obviously I have different revenue streams. No money comes from being a mom, you know, but the other two are part of my revenue stream. But yeah, so there is the corporate work, right? When I collaborate with brands, and you know, it's basically all the gifts. Like just 2 weeks ago, I'd done another TV commercial, and just people find me because I do stuff with my hands, and they're like, they need women hands that can do stuff. So cardistry scales to those commercials. So those would be like the bulk of what I do. But when it comes to non-corporate work, private shows, there's really three types. There's going to be weddings. And I have an interesting story about one client that I was negotiating with. Anyway, so there's weddings. Then there is adult parties. I'm saying adult, not like it may be inappropriate things, but just 18 plus. You know, I'm not going to do pole dancing for them, but it's just like, you know, parties where it's not kids.
Parties that feature adults.
Exactly.
That is a new genre
Parties
of
for
magic.
adults.
And then there's
parties. Yeah.
And then there's kids private shows. And right now, and again, I've just opened up in-person shows the past like 30 days. I would trust, because I have trust issues now going to people's houses, but I would much rather take a kid's gig than take an adult party. Like one of the requests I received, like I was reading, it was like, we need you to, like, it was, I don't know, like a bachelor party. Again, why would they contact me? But anyway, so the guy writes, I just need you to like act like a clown and then drinks on me or something. I'm like, why would like I even answer this request from a magician?
Yeah, exactly.
So when that happens at private events, I would rather interact with kids and have fun with them and talk about Pennywise than deal with weird guys. So yeah. What is that?
I was like, what is that?
It's just the Pokemon song. You gotta get some more.
I was like, what is that? It's so bad.
But maybe if I'm still in the performance mode, I could show you an item that I received in the mail. And
you have a really bad experience with an adult party, considering you now have trust issues with
yeah.
just all those requests for ridiculous stuff.
Sorry if I missed the first part.
I was just saying, was it just those kind of requests for ridiculous stuff that made you turned off from those?
Yeah. And again, like I just reopened like some of my calendar for these type of things. So I'm like, why would you even bother sending me a request? Like, is it because like maybe things are reopening, you have to act crazy? Like, what's the level of crazy that people are in now in terms of like party mode? There is one show I accepted, but it's another interesting one. I think it's on the 29th of August. So, but it's like almost a corporate, but not a corporate. So it's a woman that's kind of in finance and her husband is in finance. So they're all kind of like really finance savvy people. So I'm like, okay, they can afford my time. But she tells me, she's like, how much do you charge per hour? I'm like, whatever, this and that. And she's like, so there's one problem. I'm hosting the party on an island. So we have to take a boat that's going to take us to the island. And you're stuck on the island until we're done partying. And then we can bring you back. So how much do you charge? So I'm like, I guess I will charge you for 2 hours. And then, I don't know, I guess I'll have to hang out. She's like, yeah, have drinks, whatever, like join the party. Yeah. So I accepted that one. My husband's like, what are you doing? Like, you're going to be stuck with these people that you don't know on an island and you're dependent on them bringing you back.
This sounds like a bad movie starting right now.
Cuidado, be careful.
But I mean, I accept it because, it's still, I'm getting paid, right? So it's like, and it sounds fun, but like still, I have an absolute like zero trust issue. If it's like kids' birthday party, and like, I'm really good with kids now. I realize because I have a 7-year-old and I didn't realize how good I am with entertaining this kind of age category. Because like I tried everything on my son. So that gives you the best experience, I
100%.
Yeah, so I really enjoy those now much more than like I don't know what to expect with the adult ones. But corporate is still going to be, I think, the majority when I perform in person. And then, you know, yeah, I don't know. I was thinking about this in person versus like the virtual shows because I haven't yet booked like a corporate in-person show. I have some that are coming in for December, but even December, I'm like, there could be another like variant or whatever. We could be still locked down. So who knows?
Did you hear about Delta Plus?
Yeah, I
So
don't know.
there's
I heard about Delta.
There's Delta, and now I guess South Korea has just documented
South
2 cases
Korea.
of Delta Plus. Ooh, and then which is a different strain that's I guess worse than Delta. And then after that we'll have Delta Pro and Delta Pro Max and Delta S.
Delta 12 Pro Max.
I don't think it's
Delta 12
like
X Pro Max.
Coming back to my science days, and actually the science is a good transition to the trick that I received that I'm about to show you guys. But like a virus, the purpose of the virus is to survive. So it will adapt to humans to stay with humans. It's not going to go away. So I don't think people understand that and are being very naive into, COVID's going to be gone. Like, no, it's part of our life now. We're just have to live with it. I can get, vaccinated, whatever.
It is an organism that we now have to coexist with. And
exactly. So I find, people are like a little bit in their little bubble sometimes. Some of them are like, it's just going to be gone. But so speaking of science, so again, when I mentioned I did my program, part of my science classes included calculus, which is really advanced math, which I did okay.
I loved calc class. Yeah.
I had physics, specifically physics, waves, and magnetism. And I had, prior to this course, I had never failed anything. And I failed this class twice. To the point, the third time I took it, the teacher is like, look, you don't have to show up to the labs, but take private tutoring with me. And I had to pay him. Maybe that was not very ethical of him. He's like, pay me for private tutoring. He was doing tutoring, like legit tutoring, but it was just felt a little bit weird. So paid him the tutoring, passed at 70% the third time out of 100, but failed physics twice. So I have a physics trick that I received, and I might completely fail this one too, because now I had
I'm so excited for
I
this.
had some drinks.
So
have you seen this one?
I have, and I'm so excited for this because this is so cool.
Yeah. It's a simple
I've not seen
circuit.
Kat do it though.
Yeah.
So I've not seen you do it.
So it's I turned one on, but it's not actually going to power on unless you bring in some electricity, in this case in the form of this battery. So just like this, you can see, very simple circuit. We have red, which is my favorite color. Again, I'm not really sure what to expect with this, but you can see that if you turn these on, the blue one controls the blue, the green one controls the green, and the yellow, the red, the red. So it's fairly simple, right? I need you guys to choose 2 colors for me. Tell me.
I'm going to go blue.
I'll go yellow.
Yellow. Is there any particular reason? Because right now our whole color set is like pink, but we don't have pink. But any reason at all? No.
I guess we could have went red and green. That would be the 2 closest colors. But
that's all right. I like the fact that they're a bit far. But if I unscrew the bulbs and switch them places, you can see the switch is still on, the battery is on, so electricity is still running through. So if I were to screw it back, it would still light up once it has contact, correct? But the crazy part is that the yellow switch controls the yellow, and the blue switch still controls the blue. So really you have the blue, the green, the yellow, and the red. All right, let's go crazy. I'm going to undo all of these, and we're going to start randomly associating a color next to a switch. So the red, help me match.
So go green.
Green. Didn't want to influence you there. So I won't pick it up.
I picked the
next
red and
one,
green.
please.
Okay, let's go with red.
Red. Okay, cool. We have blue and yellow. Well, I guess you don't want to put blue next to the blue one, right? So let's put the blue one here. So here, what do you expect because now the bulb is completely off. So the green switch turns on the green. The yellow switch turns on the yellow, the red, and the blue, the blue. So really check this.
That's so cool.
That's maybe
so
why
awesome.
I failed physics. I still don't understand
Yeah, like, I don't know
how that works. But
yeah.
here I messed up. Remove this one. Let's choose one of these bulbs and replace it with this one. It's a white one right over here. So which one is it going to be?
So let's go green because we haven't picked green yet.
All right. So we take off green. We put in the white.
I mean, you literally did
happens.
just pick green a couple seconds
did
ago,
just pick
Ryan.
green.
However, comma will proceed as.
But I mean, in the first part.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Check this out. Green switch. We remove the green, so there's absolutely nothing that happens. The blue turns on the blue, the yellow turns the yellow, and the red turns the red, right? So with that said, let's do something different. Let's pick another color. Blaze, maybe you should do the picking.
You're up,
Okay.
Blaze.
All right.
I'm gonna rip you for any color you pick right now.
All right. We're gonna go with.
We picked that already.
The green is
We're gonna go with green. Nobody's picked green yet.
Yeah.
We're gonna go with green.
Yeah, we picked that one.
No, we haven't picked green. Let's go green.
Yeah.
we have the green is not here
Okay,
anymore.
I'm just kidding. Let's go yellow.
Yellow. Okay, perfect.
Yeah. You
So
picked
yellow,
first
you
one,
want to
too.
add yellow to which color?
What? Okay, let's go blue.
To the blue one. Cool. So now we've just created a super switch. But this one is now white. It has no color. Let's see. Oh, my super switch died. Well, let's put it back. Come on.
Oh.
You can see
I
how
wanna
high tech it is.
I want to make
Watch.
ECAT big.
Yeah, there you go.
This is now white. And the super switch that has blue and yellow turns on. Blue and
This
yellow.
is so
And the green
cool.
does
That's
nothing.
so
And the
cool.
red is the red.
This is so cool.
Does nothing.
I gotta buy this.
This is so
This
cool.
is
Crazy,
just fun.
right?
I just want this at my house to like mess with people.
It's so I thought, like, my original thought was like, this is for kids, but kids they don't get this like at all.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's, again, you have to understand it's a bit of
When you say
science.
kids don't get it at all, you mean that the magic of it is kind of lost to kids because they're just like, oh yeah, blue, blue, red, red. Like,
Yeah, like
just
you
go
know,
with it.
like the fact that this turns on like this, like it's like normal, right? And you switch them around, like it follows it. What's the what's the
yeah, they're just like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's how it works. And then any adult is like, that's not a circuit.
Yeah.
That's what?
Yeah, that's not how that works. I love
Yeah.
the taking the color off and making the super switch. That
Yeah,
to
the
me
super
the
switch
cool
is so
part.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a really nice product. I quite like it. I might use even this demo because it actually worked. If you don't mind, guys, I'll include it in a video. Again, Ryan is used to
Yeah,
now
yeah.
being in my review videos. But
yes.
switchboard.
I'm coming out to Montreal again soon, so maybe I'll join another video. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
I'm now gonna be
Honestly, like every review.
co-host.
Yeah,
But-
I first saw Switchboard because Albert Chang showed it to me, and
Oh.
he does Twitch streaming full time, and he's a magician.
Full-time.
Yeah, so he does full time Twitch streaming, where
Mm-hmm.
he'll do he'll kind of streams his life, but then he'll randomly incorporate magic moments, but he'll kind of introduce
Nice.
objects in a way where the audience doesn't know if it's a magic trick or not that they're about to experience. And he told me about his plan for the switchboard, and it was so cool. One, also, when he first showed it to me, I was like, this is the craziest thing ever. And then his whole thing was he had just set up like a PO box. And
Yeah.
so his whole thing was he was going to do a PO box haul where all of his fans had sent him random stuff. And that was going to be like one of the things his fans had sent him. And he was like, oh, what is this? And it was going to be him experiencing it with all of the live viewers, like the thousands of people watching live. And it was such a cool concept, because
cool.
that's a trick where even as the magician, it makes sense that you would have no idea how this even works too, because it really doesn't make sense.
So now I really don't know. Like I just learn the instructions. That's about it. but it's cool. But
That's
you know, and I'm not gonna go through details of another trick, but there's like, I don't know why I'm sharing this, but I do like when people do extra effort, especially when they send something. One, you're proud of what you have, right? It's like versus the product that we reviewed before, Ryan.
Yeah.
So this one I thought was really, really nicely done. This is by Sylvain. So he fooled, I think, Panatta. I'm not sure. I haven't seen all his videos yet of his work, but really, you know, from the glimpse that I saw, really skilled magician. So he sent me his book. Then I'm going through it, and I'm like on page, I don't know what page that is, but then I see this, and it's like, that's so sweet.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So obviously, like, I'm gonna be slightly biased.
yeah, exactly. That's amazing.
No, but I like, and I told, like, he actually was a bit concerned about that. He was like, you know, how bad is like bad? Like when you don't like something, and I'm like, what you're about to send me is like several tricks like described in the book. Like there's no way I'm gonna hate all the tricks in that book.
Yeah.
Like it's just statistically impossible. So there's
For
gonna be
sure.
something that I'm gonna be able to incorporate in my card magic, right?
Yeah.
But yeah,
You
but
just
even yeah, sorry, go ahead, Ryan.
Oh, I was gonna say you just haven't found it yet. No, I'm joking. I'm sure it's fantastic. I'm sure
Yeah,
it's
no, I
fantastic.
haven't read it in detail yet. That's the thing. Like me and books, like I love it, and I'm trying to get through a few books now. But I still find that video adds a dimension. Like not only video adds a dimension, but also in person adds like an extra dimension because someone can see what you're doing and they can correct you. So I find like there's different learning steps to magic. And when I started to hang out with magicians and actually like, you know, someone could even like when I would go to Vegas and hang out with Andre Gire and Patrick Kuhn in terms of like cardistry coaching, they would be like, why are you holding the card like this? Like it's, you know, you're working against yourself. But like someone needs to see you to be able to tell you this. And it's a little bit harder to see it through video. So books, I find it's really, you can find gems, but you almost have to interpret the trick yourself and find a way to kind of understand what you're doing. So it is unique because everyone interprets things a bit differently or how the movement is done a bit differently. But I do find it like it takes me a lot more time to get through a product that's a book versus like here's a streaming video. Even if the video is 3 hours, it's faster for me to watch a 3-hour video than read through that book, even though it's not that.
No, that makes sense. I would be the same way for sure.
Oh, totally. Yeah. And there's also like, even though books can spark creativity and everybody's going to interpret it differently, and you can pack a ton of different tricks all in a book, there's a lot of stuff that's been written in magic books that is not as detailed as it should be, or the author clearly could not do it. And it was just an idea that was put in a book and described, and then you have people reading it as if it's a possible thing.
Right.
And you have somebody who was able to eventually make it possible, but the author definitely wasn't able to do it. I love the Instagram badly drawn magic hands. Have you seen that Instagram page?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, Ekat, you got to see this.
No.
You got to see this.
Badly drawn magic hands.
I think it's called badly drawn magic hands. Let me find. Yes, here it is. Badly drawn magic hands. I love this Instagram. So this is all from different magic books, hands that have been illustrated in books that are not like, this is not possible for a hand to do. For example, it's like what is this? It says when your pinky is also a giant earthworm, like figure 8. Yeah, and then
totally.
Like what is this? When you're putting a card into lateral palm, but it's been cut in half and your fingers are all messed up. This is from Revolutionary Card Technique by Ed Marlowe. And it's like, these are not actual hands. Like what is this? You know? Yeah, you can just put that in a book and say, do it.
Giant hand. That's interesting because a few years ago, illustrated a magic book.
Did it look like this?
No, I hope not.
No pressure.
Let me see if I have a couple pictures on my Instagram.
I find, to be honest, like I find hands like the most complicated to draw. Like I'm not really good at drawing, as you know, Ryan. We played the game.
Yeah, we did play that game.
Not very good at drawing.
There was some pretty terrible drawings.
But like it's hard to draw fingers. It's really hard.
People always say they have a really tough time. I illustrate. So when I was a kid, I wanted to be an illustrator, and then I was like, okay, I want to work for Disney and stuff, and I wanted to go to Sheridan College in Oakville. And my dad showed me when I was in high school a newspaper article that said at that point the cutoff to get into Sheridan was a 97% average, and I said, well, I'm never going there for that course. And so I gave up my dream and became a magician instead. And so, but a few years later, Kyle Marlette reached out to me to show me his book that he was writing. And he showed me his illustrations. And I said, those are really bad. They would have been on that website or on the Instagram page. And so I said, can I draw? Or he goes, do you think you could do better? And I said, sure. So I drew all of his illustrations.
That's nice.
So let me see if I can find one here.
You ever accidentally given 6 fingers to a drawing and then expected people to do it?
Whoa, that's a pretty. Wait, I'm looking at Ryan's drawing.
Ryan,
that's like a realistic.
That's
hand.
a real hand.
That was
Peter.
That was Peter McKinnon's hand for that one. Cool. And then I did like these ones for the other thing. There's one that's a little weird. I think we took that one out, but the other ones are
nice.
Okay.
So do you take a photo?
Hands. Yeah, I took a photo. Yeah. Or Kyle did. So he has bigger hands. So some of the pictures, the fingers look a little bigger, but he took photos of his hands, and then I just went and sketched them all and said, okay, I'm going to give myself like 10 minutes per little comic drawing and went to town.
That's cool.
But yeah, that picture of Pete's hand, I said to him, okay, I could draw your hand in 10 minutes. So he timed me for 10 minutes to draw his. So, but
nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like I accomplished my life goal. So now I can do magic.
Yes.
But do you think it's that time? This is something.
I think it's that time.
New. I think we should do something new right now.
Something new. Okay. Yeah. So it's a different time.
Different time. New time, but different time. But that time. If you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's that time.
So we have a couple different segments. So for you guys watching, I think so. Yeah. I think that gave us the hint. So for you guys watching, every week we do a couple different segments. And so me and Blaze were talking this week, and we decided that we are going to add a gamut of new segments in so that every single week, all the segments are different week by week. So you never know what you're going to see on Magic After Dark. And so I reached out to Ekat today and I said, are you game for this? And I forgot to tell Blaze.
I haven't
so then I was completely unprepared.
I was like, Blaze, me and him share one brain. So I just figured that.
Telekinesis. Yeah, we were all on the same
I was
page,
thinking it that he would already know. So tonight we are going to play a game because we never play games. We do questions and we kind of games, but not physical games. And so we are about to take it up a notch on Magic After Dark. We're about to play a physical challenge game with Ekat, where you need a piece of spaghetti. And you can try this if you are watching. Actually, let's give them like 30 seconds. If you are watching right now and you want to try to compete with us, you need a piece of spaghetti, uncooked, and you need 6 pieces of penne noodles. So
also, pro tip while you're getting your spaghetti, if you're interested if you're a magician that does levitation work, if you ever use thread in wax, use spaghetti to anchor the thread in the wax. You take a little piece of spaghetti about this big, you see, just the tiniest bit. If you can see between my hands, this big. Take a little piece of spaghetti that big, put it within your wax, and then wrap the thread around the little piece of spaghetti and then move the wax around it. You have created a little spool that anchors the thread in the wax. It can support a lot more weight. Also, your body temperature heats up wax and causes it to melt, but the little anchor you've created with your spaghetti will cause it to always stay solid, and your thread will never slip out of your wax again. Makes it you can levitate things that are way heavier than before.
Ekat, we haven't given you a mic drop, but I think that's a mic drop moment right there.
On how to anchor thread.
I
We got a gold nugget. We got one before Ekat. Nice,
you.
nice.
Yeah. Blaze doesn't get too
Very
many
nice.
of those a night. So.
I've never gotten
job,
my own
Blaze.
gold nugget before.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So I think it's 6, right?
Six, yeah. I feel like you can't see this table when I'm sitting here. Maybe I could I can put this up.
Again, this is going to be impossible for me because I've got these instead of penne. So this is going to actually be impossible. But okay, I'll throw in 6.
This is going to be my favorite part is watching. I may not even do it. I may watch Blaze try and do
No, I'm going to be ref. I'm reffing today.
it.
You know what? I feel like I should use a
Don't hit
map.
the player, hit the game.
There we go.
But yes, everybody, if you do levitation, please try that. Use spaghetti, and it will make your levitations way better.
I've never heard that. I used to do a lot of levitation stuff.
I
So.
learned it from Adam Elbaum, the king of levitations.
Yeah. Adam is awesome.
Yes, Adam is great. Tannins campers.
I taught advanced close-up magic with Adam.
Yes, so you know. Dude, this is impossible with my little curly cues. Dude, I can't even lift up one.
Is impossible. Don't buy this table. It's on this.
I feel like I'm the most prepared here.
Yeah,
You are the most prepared. You're the most organized. All right.
Well, you said to me that you were practicing, so I know.
Don't tell anyone. Come on.
Come on. I'm gonna beat Ekat, even though she practiced.
This is Ekat's first try ever. She never practiced at all.
Wait, you can only take one.
Wait.
Okay,
Can
I got this up high enough so that they can see it. Let me put
No,
these out.
this is impossible.
We have to have a 60-second timer, right?
Yeah.
So
60
wait.
seconds.
So what are the rules? I don't even know the rules of this game. You just told me spaghetti and pasta, and I didn't even have penne.
You have to stack 6 of these pennies on one spaghetti without breaking it. If it breaks, you take another one, you start over. But you have only 60 seconds.
And for anyone watching, that was penne and not pennies. Just in case you get mixed
Yes.
accent.
Sorry. Yeah. It's Dobrochotova.
Fair enough.
I could say that because I'm Canadian as well. And I know. Yeah,
Okay.
we're all right.
I'm gonna give myself some leeway and say I can use 2 spaghettis. All right, because I don't have.
You can
penne.
use as many as you want.
So you also have to put it in your mouth.
You have to put it. What?
Yeah.
That's the rule?
That's the rule, yeah.
This has to go in your mouth.
Okay, so 2 isn't gonna help me at all.
That's what
No
I'm
one
saying.
I was gonna try and chopstick stratum. You know, I was gonna
Because you have to, basically it stacks
Jeez.
like this. So 6 get stacked
No,
on
I was
one and
horribly wrong.
it shouldn't break. I'm scared for the other one that we have that I couldn't successfully do in my practice, but this one, I think I got this.
Oh, guys, I got it. Here. I figured it out.
All right, Ekat, if you're that confident, we're going big style.
Ooh, okay.
Actually, I don't even know if these will hold this.
Because your little spaghetti might break.
Yeah, this.
Yeah, Ryan has a little spaghetti.
Okay, maybe you could put 2, just to get
No.
some reinforcement.
But
Ryan has a wee
these
little
are some-
spaghetti.
These are some
All right.
big pennies.
There's some big pennes up in here. Dude, you got the biggest pennes. Your pennes might be too heavy for your little spaghetti.
That's the problem. Yeah, I got to put my seat down so I can be more at head level.
Okay, it is impossible to chopstick these cavatapis. All right.
I've never heard someone say cavatapis.
Cavatapi. Oh, no. Oh, no, I broke my spaghetti.
Oh, okay, we're up a little high.
Okay, I'm reffing then. All right, so is there anything I can do other
You can
than...
time 60 seconds.
I
You
can
gotta
time
time
60
60
seconds. All right.
seconds.
I'm timer man.
I feel like my penne now is so thin, the ones I grabbed, and they I have a
Just
strategy.
excuses like my hands are too small, my pennies are too small.
Yeah, man. My penne's too thin.
I had a really great strategy.
My penne has no girth. All right.
Oh boy, there's gonna be some memes for Says Blair on this one.
Says Blair. Yeah, my penne has no girth.
You know, the main advantage I think you have, Ryan, is because I have been drinking. You haven't that much.
I have a beer there too.
No?
And I
Alright.
had beers before this because I had men's night at my house. So
Okay.
Mhm.
and now everybody can see that on Magic After Dark, I wear shorts. There you go.
Ryan,
It's too hot in my
see-
studio.
So Ryan has
Okay,
the spaghetti
we're
in
doing
his
this?
mouth. All right, I've got the timer right here. And is everybody ready?
Mm-hmm.
Ready, set, go. Wow.
Woof.
Wow. Ryan, absolute trash. Horrendous. Look at this. Dude. Ryan,
Oh, no.
you're
No.
getting absolutely obliterated right now, Ryan. Emasculated. Oh my gosh. The precision. ECAT. The most
man.
talented guest we've ever had on Magic
she's
After
so
Dark.
low. I gotta get lower. Okay, I need
Yo!
to redo.
She got all of them! Right.
There we go.
Okay, I gotta do this again. We gotta race again. I didn't.
Oh
was
my
my-
gosh.
that was
She gets a
my-
mic drop right on there.
Yes.
That was my practice round. I'm gonna say.
No
Wait, are we doing
practice
this
round,
again?
dude.
Are we doing this
Yeah.
again?
I saw.
I
that
think
you got
ECAT's
so much-
already proven that she's
I saw
superior in every way.
you got so much lower. I was trying to stay sitting up, and they kept just falling back off. I felt like I got the first one on faster than you did. I looked up, and you were still working on the first one. I was like,
See, I
yeah.
didn't even once look at you. I was so
No.
focused.
Oh yeah, no, I wanted to make sure I was
No.
dominating this. And I looked up, and then I tried to pick it up, and I picked it up, and I brought it up here.
Dude,
and I
her
thought that was a
pasta
great
eye
idea.
coordination was off the charts right there.
I
was-
thought it was a great idea, and then what I did was when I went back down, then the pasta just slid off.
No, you have to
It's like-
keep your head up. You never tilt
Yeah.
down. Yeah.
Yeah, so I gotta get down a little bit lower here. I gotta get rid of my chair.
I'm
Can I
off
even
my
get-
chair when I start.
Yeah, so this is I feel like a fair competition. See, she had
Okay.
practice beforehand. It's not fair.
I just did it once. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty easy. The other one is hard.
The other
is
one
hard.
I'm pretty good at.
The other one, like, forget it. Like, you learn another secret about my,
Blaze, you got to do the
eyebrow.
second one. You got to find something.
Mm,
Are
He's
you-
trying to do
I'm
it.
trying. Wait, give me a second.
This is
You're
a
gonna get
Sis
one.
Blair meme for sure.
Dude, I'm trying to get one twirly pasta, and it's so hard.
Oh,
But you're like down. Like, that's it. You
I should
have
do it
to
like
be under the pasta.
Oh, you're right.
Uh,
Yeah, I do have to be under the pasta. All right. No, wait, I need to.
See, my
I need
table
to turn
goes
on
up.
my other camera.
So you're
So
either
you're-
go on your knees or your table goes up.
Yeah, Tigger T says that I need to move the pasta closer. I thought too that there's a way to put the penne so that the
Okay,
longer
so here.
spout is on the facing me, closer to me.
All right, here we got a piece of
oh.
pasta right here.
Mm-hmm. See, you're still a bit higher.
It's still a bit high. Okay,
Kind of need to be parallel to the table.
come on.
That was
This is
my
still
issue.
hard.
Then you go up.
Not possible. All right, here.
No,
This is so hard, dude. This is harder than any magic trick.
yeah. See, I figured a flourisher.
Yo, what if I just took this whole time and just rigged all of mine up with thread, so I could just bibbity boppity boo and just levitate it all up?
It's all on there. All
No,
right,
it's too. It's not possible. This hole is just
dominate?
too small. It's just not possible. I can't even.
Okay, so are we doing this, Ryan?
Oh yeah.
We're doing it again. All right.
Oh yeah.
All right. Here we go.
I feel like the viewers are enjoying this. This is where magic gets real. ECAT. I'm
Ready?
gonna bring the heat this time.
Okay.
Oh,
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Ready, set, go. Ryan, you're just inferior. Just accept it. Just accept the inferiority. Come on. Oh, he's gaining on her. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Ekat, you got it. Oh! Taste defeat, Ryan. Yo, and she won. One more, Ryan, just for the boys. One for the boys.
But it seems you did better this time.
I'm on an angle now. It's too far away. I think Tigger was right. Tigger said move them closer. I was too far away.
Yeah, I think I also
But I
got
have
in your
this-
head a little bit.
Yeah, I have this lip as well. So your
I
table
wasn't
is
biased
flat.
at all.
I have a lip that I got to go down on. It's creating a bad thing.
So
That's
the
okay.
other thing
I get
noticed
dominated. That's all right.
Is like I would really put it here versus trying to bite on it, because you bite on it, then you kind of, know.
Break it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't know if that's good advice.
He said, "Be inspired by this experience to make a new trick."
Well, I feel like you can use your like bottom lip as like a lever, you know, to like swing it up.
That's what I thought the first time. You have to just move your head. The
Really? Okay.
The problem with this table is this ledge.
The table, right?
It's got to be the table.
All right.
Don't worry,
Well,
Kat. I
speaking
know
of
who draws
pasta,
better online.
speaking of pasta, I feel like we should just go straight into the next segment.
I think it has to. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wait, we have a second. Okay, there's a different.
Ekat, speaking of pasta,
Lasagna.
Lasagna!
What's your favorite genre of lasagna?
Meat.
Lasagna.
Veggie.
Lasagna.
Plain.
Lasagna.
Saucy.
Lasagna. What's your favorite genre of lasagna?
what's your favorite genre of lasagna?
The regular one, like with meat and everything. Cheese.
The regular one.
I just don't eat very much like the Parmesan cheese. I like cheese that doesn't taste like cheese too much. Like, just kind of.
Cheese that doesn't taste like cheese.
Cheese that doesn't taste like cheese?
Yeah, like doesn't taste rotten. Like I prefer.
Well, have I got news for you? The cheeses are cheesy. If you're looking for non-cheesy things, cheese is not the best place to go.
So I go with like mozzarella, Swiss
yeah.
cheddar. Like that's the max I go.
So you'd say like mozzarella lasagna is
Yeah.
where you go?
Yeah.
Mozzarella
Tastes
lasagna.
like pizza.
Luxurious. Now, let's say you were to bake a mozzarella lasagna. And you bake an identical second mozzarella lasagna. Now you take the second one and you stack it atop the first. How many lasagna do you have now?
One. Big
One.
lasagna.
Interesting.
Not two? Not two distinct lasagnas anymore?
It's the same one, so you just made more layers of that one lasagna.
Wow.
Interesting.
It's a winner.
A
She's
winner.
a one lasagna woman.
Put
Yes.
it on the chart. She's a winner.
She's a winner. We'll
Didn't
chalk you
expect
up as a
that.
winner.
I didn't practice that one. Wait.
No.
Yeah, no, that was a secret.
Yeah, that was a secret. This is question one of the IQ test. This is where we.
Yeah.
This is where I told you I failed physics twice. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a whole chapter in the physics textbook about how many lasagna. Did you skip that one?
That's the problem
The
solving.
physics of
101.
lasagna? Yeah.
so what's the right answer?
Oh, there isn't a right answer. It's more that we just see what your favorite genre of lasagna is, and then we find out if you're a oneer or a twoer.
Yeah.
Because some people will say it's two distinct lasagna. That they
Yeah,
can't
'cause
become
they-
one.
So in
the
the
bottom layer could be crusty and stuff. So you don't want to put a crusty layer on top of a good layer.
Yeah. Now the time between baking makes a big difference, right? Because like if you were to bake a lasagna and then 4 hours later bake an identical lasagna, this one's already gotten crusty. Now is it still one when you stack them?
I mean, yeah, just the bottom just feels different. It's like a crust of a pie. It could be completely like different texture, different everything.
So wait, if you put a cherry pie on top of an apple pie, is it one pie or two? Just saying.
Well, the pies, they're not very stackable, but then you'll be making a cake. And then you just need to put like, icing.
pie
And then
cake.
it's like one cake.
Okay.
I see.
Interesting.
Interesting. All right. I like your style.
I like that. All right, one.
I feel like I failed class again.
She's like, I just failed.
It's like there's no right answer. Now
You
later
can't-
on we will get to a segment where there are right answers.
Yeah, you beat me at the pasta game, and you got the wrong answer. You can never come back on Magic After Dark.
Now, what do you think that I can use instead of? Could I use like this lens cap instead of a cookie?
You
Yeah,
could if
yeah.
you put it in your mouth after.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, as long as you're good at putting it in your mouth.
Oh, we're
My
doing this
lens
now.
cap. Yeah.
So
we should play that song. Don't
We
you put it in your mouth.
What
So
is
the
that
one
song?
thing-
It might look good to eat. It was a commercial years ago, and it was like, I gotta find it. I'll send you the link to it.
What were you gonna say, Ekat?
I was gonna say I could get exposed with this trick because
Uh-oh.
I only have half an eyebrow and everything else is makeup. So if the cookie goes here, I'll literally have like a line across.
But
I have lines in my hair.
You've always had, or
So I have lines
did
in my
some point
hair
change?
to compensate if ever my eyebrow
really
something
cool.
happens. So if ever something happens, I'm like, it's just my style. But it's kind of, I would say I'm gonna blame it on like my beauty and cosmetics experience. It's like, the makeup artist once suggested like you should just like remove half of your eyebrow and then you can draw whatever like shape you want, or like I'm like, let me try
I might
that.
have to do that next week. I'm gonna come back. I got a little eyebrow crazy going on right now. I'm gonna cut it off.
So that was like a conscious artistic decision of like, I'm going to remove half of my eyebrow and then I'm going to get to choose whatever shape I want.
Exactly. But then what happened is my eyebrow would just not grow back again.
Oh, geez. After the first
Right.
time, or was it after repeated abuse that it was like, oh no, I'm good?
Well, like after the first time, like you ruin it once, to be honest, it's just not the same like
Not the
texture or
same.
anything. And some spots like don't come back. So I'm like, what do I do now?
Did you just shave it or did you like wax it off?
No, I plucked half of it.
Oh,
to be able
that's
to
why.
draw the
Okay.
shape. It would never come back the same. Like if I just let, it's just gonna be still like a weird thing. So
Yeah.
I'm committed. So I haven't. Funny story with that because like literally, unless I get it tattooed, like I'm stuck for life with drawing my eyebrows to look normal, or at least half of it. So I was shooting the Coca-Cola commercial, and the one thing, because it's very hard also with my hair color, because it's natural hair color till now. So it's very hard for me to match the eyebrow because I don't want to have like a black, like, or orange, right?
Yeah,
So it was a Coca-Cola commercial. So I had this one, now I have like 10 of them because I'm like, it's really important for my life now. But I had one on me on the trip to shoot the Coca-Cola commercials. And I was going to the shoot and the makeup artist is like, okay, because of your situation, you have to bring your make sure to bring your pencil and then I'll take care of the rest of the makeup. But I had forgotten in my hotel room it was filmed in Uruguay. So I don't know the language, I don't know nothing. So a random car picks me up, like it's breaking apart car. And in my agreement, it was supposed to be a nice car picking me up. Anyway, it's like breaking apart. Someone who doesn't speak English picks me up. In the middle of it, I realized I forgot. It was like also 5 a.m. I realized I forgot my pencil. I have to explain to them, very important for the shoot. I forgot something in the hotel. I have to go back. So they drive me back. I pick it up. I go to put my bag back in the trunk, and because it's like a messed up car, the trunk falls on my head, and my face is used for the commercial, right? So I have a line like on my forehead. I'm like, shit.
Oh my God.
So the people there start to freak out, right? Because they're responsible for me, and I'm all messed up.
Yeah.
So I have the freaking eyebrow, color now, but I have a huge like line on my forehead. And I go see the makeup artist. She's like, all right, it's going to take a few hours.
It's like, what's more distracting, a half eyebrow or just a gaping wound?
So lesson
brains
learned,
going.
honestly, lesson learned. Like, Murphy's Law, something will go wrong, you forget something. But in that moment, it was like better to accept like a different eyebrow color than what happened.
Yeah.
So learning experience, guys.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So, Blaze, I sent you the link for the YouTube video.
I saw it, and this
Please.
looks disturbing off of the bat.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right.
This is from
Ooh.
1992, so it dates me a bit.
Don't put it in your mouth.
But this was a TV commercial.
I was
This is the
still in
full
Russia.
version.
This is
It's
a
a full
little
version,
bit
so-
horrifying. All right.
Yeah.
Always telling
I
you,
don't-
put that in your mouth. Let's find out.
Hi, kid. Why are we on television anyway? We're here to tell a little
Ryan, what have you sent me?
This is a legit TV commercial.
and you don't know what they are, and why you should never take.
You can
anything
hear
a
it, right?
stranger tries to give
Yeah.
you. Because if you ate somebody else's medicine, some bad food, or some poison,
Medicine.
you can get very sick. Ugh, I don't want to be sick.
I never
And
seen the
that's
full
why
version
you
before.
can
I've only heard the song.
always ask someone you love if it's okay. Okay, I love you. Can I eat the guitar? No, but you can help me sing a song about eating things that don't
What is going on?
Okay, this is the part.
belong inside you. Okay, I wasn't really hungry anyway. Well, wait, maybe a little bit. Okay, everybody, if you see something that you want to eat, before you do anything, remember this song. Don't you put it in your mouth. Don't you put it in your mouth. Don't you stuff it in your face. Don't stuff it in your face. So it might look good to eat. So it might look good to eat. And it might look good to taste. And it might look good to taste. You could get sick.
Yeah.
Real quick. Real sick. Real ick. Don't you put it in your mouth. Till you ask someone you love.
What was that? Ryan, I am never going to Canada ever. Okay.
That's like a
What is
really hot
What
TV
is this
commercial.
freeze
This
frame
looks
right
like
here?
a U.S.
What
commercial.
is
though. Come
this?
on.
Ryan,
That's from the US. That's
What is this?
it's a wannabe Cookie Monster. Wait,
Sesame Street.
I think that they have like different. Maybe there's a different version. Oh no, there it is.
why does it look so crazy?
That's a muffin or a beet. No, that's a beet.
Wait, is that a potato or a beet?
It's a beet.
Why the other ones are like regular animals?
Yeah.
Beets. And don't
Oh, it's
put
beets.
in your mouth. Bye-bye,
It was a beet.
everyone.
Remember, boys and girls, never take anything from a stranger and don't put things in your mouth when you don't know what they are.
I think it was maybe something they brought out around Halloween or something, or there was something going on in the world where people were giving
Wow.
kids stuff.
I feel like I'm on drugs, dude. What
Well,
was
you
that?
You weren't born then. Like with that, we didn't have OBS.
Was everyone
and stuff.
high back then?
Yeah, yeah.
All the time?
Everyone that did marketing or advertising. So,
Yeah.
Eka, did you grab
Put it on your
originals?
forehead, though. Ryan,
Nice.
That-
There was
I'm traumatized. All right, I've got a lens
There-
cap.
there was some options today. There was cake batter Oreo. There was mint cream. I was like, oh, I said to Blaze, I can't eat a lot of Oreos. These have got to last me for like 30 or 40 episodes. So
I'm the
Right.
exact opposite. Do you ever? I'll take cereal, like Reese's Puff cereal, and then I'll put Oreos in the cereal, and then eat it all with a spoon.
well, I don't like peanut butter or any nuts. So Reese Puffs would not be my cup of tea.
What's your favorite
But,
cereal?
Well, I have a genre. I like oatmeal.
Oh, I like
The
oatmeal.
healthy one, the healthy one, the
Yeah.
real cereal.
Kat, what's your favorite cereal? Do you have? Are you a
Cheerios.
cereal person? Cheerios.
The- Yeah, the
I would say as a
Cheerios
kid, it was
honey
Lucky Charms, though, for sure.
Oh, Lucky Charms are good.
No,
I mean,
now
that
I eat,
cereal is pretty bomb.
now I eat a thing called Power O's if I have cereal. It's like it looks like a Cheerio, but it's made with beans instead.
Steroids and beans.
Yeah.
Power.
So we start here.
Start on your
Is
forehead.
that how it goes? You go up from the forehead down to the mouth.
You got 1 minute to get in your mouth, but I don't think we need a timer for this one. I think it's the first one.
The
to
first one
accomplish
to get it. Okay, that's
Yeah.
good. You know, this is
You
the
know-
one that I'm gonna say I'm gonna struggle.
I've never tried this
rated.
with
Thank you,
a
really fully.
with-
I appreciate that.
with
man.
a beard or with a mustache. The last time I tried this, I did not have that.
Yo, all right, ready?
Yeah.
When are we gonna go? 3, 2,
Two.
1,
One.
go. Oh, jeez. Okay.
So you start over if it drops.
Yeah, you gotta start over. Yeah, I definitely dropped that one.
I'm like slow.
Oh, in the eye. Oh,
no! I was so close.
I just missed it. I was trying to catch it. Oh, ECAT is close. Oh, I had
I
trouble
was
getting
so
it out
dumb.
of my eyes.
No.
Oh, I think you got
Let's start
to
over.
that. Oh, well, that was way too fast.
I was way too slow the first time, but it's getting into the mouth.
Trying to flip it. Oh, I hit my tooth. Oh,
No,
that's
no, I
close.
had
Look
it
at
in my
the
mouth. I was
tongue
touching
coming
my
out. Oh, she lost
This
it.
is hard.
I used to
I'm
be
on
able
my
to do
third
this
try.
so well. Okay, I'm gonna go the opposite.
People gotta make bets in the comments.
I got it.
No.
You got it.
Ah, good job.
Oh,
Dude, it kept getting like right here, and then it would fall. And
I
I
would
think
get
the thing
into
is
my
that I
eye.
realized how dumb I was looking. Literally, the whole time I was going.
yeah, that's it.
That was all of us.
Like, so I would like
Good job.
look at
Okay, we get
myself,
two.
and then when I looked at myself, it would like raise the angle too much. So I just
Yeah.
needed to get in the zone.
I kept getting it
Orange.
here and then trying to do a flip because I couldn't get it out of my eye.
You shouldn't flip.
Flipping it.
Oh no, I don't
and
think
trying to catch it.
Yeah, no, I was just going here and then trying to like bring it around and down.
I figured maybe it's my mustache when I'm holding it here. I don't know, something that was not letting it slide any further down.
Tigger said very flattering angles, you guys.
But the good news, I still have the eyebrow makeup.
Mm.
Or
Still got
whatever.
it. Yeah, wiped it off.
I mean, such a great segment. Because at the end of it, we get to
Yeah,
the
good
Oreo.
job.
Yeah.
Too
No, we
bad
gotta do
Blake,
that.
you can't eat them.
I know. I got just eat a lens cap.
The problem is we need a glass of milk now. Like
Almond milk,
almond milk.
Almond cocoa milk, cocoa yo-yo.
Here's my question: does anyone out there eat Oreo cookies that are not like just by themselves like that, without a drink?
It's so dry though. Like
Also,
incredibly
who
dry.
eats regular Oreos? It's double stuff is regular.
They didn't have double stuff. Otherwise,
They didn't
I
have
would have got
double stuff,
stuff.
dude. Regular
No.
Oreos are like negative Oreos.
I went
You
to a
start at double
convenience.
stuff and you work up to mega stuff, and then they have the most stuff. Have you ever seen the most stuff Oreos?
no, I haven't seen the most stuff. Is it in Canada?
This is
I
what they
love
look
that. Says Blair says, I really got a lot out of this incredible episode of Magic After Dark, and there's still
This
more
is
to
what
come.
the most stuff looks like. This-
What?
Wow.
This is like
That
the
is-
magic trick.
No,
this
that's
is
an ice cream.
actually- This is actually real. These are actually real. This is what they come.
That's
looking
an
like.
ice
It
cream.
looks like ice
sandwich.
cream. Yeah, it looks like
Yeah.
ice cream.
It does look like ice cream. But like those are so you can see the progression. There's Oreo thins, and then
Yeah.
there's
Regular.
regular Oreos, double stuff. Mega stuff is what I always get. I always get mega stuff, and then the most
That's
stuff
crazy.
is the right.
That is
I feel like I'm
nuts.
missing out.
I don't think we have all that in Canada. I'm
No.
just gonna I'm gonna say that we maybe have the double stuff.
We
I
have the
don't
double
think that
stuff.
we-
Yeah, I saw
yeah.
it.
I've seen double stuff. I don't think we have the most or mega stuff. It's like that is only an American thing. I'm gonna put it out there that Americans eat way more Oreo cookies than Canadians, and so
Yeah,
guys have
dude, you
some
guys are
special
out
Oreos.
here eating beets and having this
Yeah.
world tell you not to eat.
No, we're not supposed to eat beets.
No,
If you
they
see a
look
beet
weird.
in the street, don't eat.
yeah, don't eat it. See it in the street.
A stranger gives you beets. Don't eat it.
Now I gotta have another. I gotta have another Oreo.
See a stranger in the street, he gives you a beet, don't eat.
Now,
But I was
do
just
you
like,
do you eat
go
the Oreo by taking the middle out?
no, because then
No.
it's even more dry. Like,
Oh. That's only that's a milkman's strategy. You've got to have milk to be able to pull that off. Because like if
Yeah.
you lick the cream out, then you've got the worst parts of the Oreo left.
I'm
Yeah.
currently
And now
finding
look,
that out
now look
right
at Ryan
now
struggling to speak.
because I'm so
After
dry.
one Oreo is on the floor for me. So, yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna reel us back in to the magic talk. So-
I can transition to magic. I had this client called Valmont Cosmetics. So it's not a L'Oreal brand, it's a different one. So I showed this to them, and they really like it. But I just want to show with you. This is an eye cream, right? Not to look old. It's completely sealed. It's my layman terms for you guys, anti-aging. So I have this, right? So we're gonna put it inside, and we're gonna make it disappear. And it's gone. But I said, what's better than one small container of that?
A bottle.
Big.
So basically, the whole thing, right? And it's completely sealed too.
Nice.
So my husband did this for me. It took a few hours. But yeah, I told him, like, send me your product. But you know the astonishing bottle principle, basically? So kind of applied it here. But the precision of that cut and keeping it's not focusing here, but keeping that and taking out all the cream. It was really painful because it's a very expensive cream to remove all of it. But yeah, no. So these are the things that I like to do for like clients, but I don't have no skills cutting stuff. So I just asked my husband. But Ryan, you probably know a thing or two about those kind of tools that were used.
Got a few tools out there.
Yeah, but that's kind of my style when I perform for my clients. I at least have one or two tricks that I just create with their stuff. And I feel like that's why I can also explain more premium pricing. But a lot of people just have like a set and they do their set and like there's no personalization. And I've had like also comments on my penguin lecture because I talk a lot about like DIY and doing stuff and personalization, because I think the next step is taking things personal. And a lot of folks like, it's like too much money, too much time. It's like useless. But I'm like, return on investment, people.
I think that's a huge like upside though to like what you're doing, and I talk about it all the time. And so I just bought I was talking to Blaze yesterday. I just bought a new car, and so I pick it up on Saturday. So I bought a BMW 430i,
Nice.
and so I was like, I talked to a sales guy here at Kia that I went to university with, and I just ran into him, or I talked to him on Facebook, and he's like, I saw that you live in the same town now. I work at Kia. Come in. I haven't seen him in years. And so went over and I saw the guy, and I was telling him, I do mentalism for a living now. And I was telling him that I read all this stuff on sales. I listen to all these sales books and podcasts and stuff, because I'm really interested in always how to make my business better. And so I was telling him all these ideas that I had, and I talked to another guy and we jam business ideas together all the time. And I said, if you work in car sales, go the extra mile. And the saying is you only have to be 10% better than the next guy to be like unbelievable, right? So I said to him, like, if you sell a car and you make commissions, so you're going to make, usually a couple $100 if you sell a car. It's not a lot of money compared to what people think. But I said, if you sell a car, take $20 or $50, depending on how much you make, and wrap your business card in it or staple your business card to it and put it in the gas tank. And I said, because then when that person drives away, the first time they go to fill up their gas, it's on you. And they will never forget that, right? Because it has your business card. And I was like, just go the extra mile. So talking about that, I had a client in 2019, before COVID, they had met me at a golf tournament that summer that I was doing some stuff for. And so they called me, said, can you come and do our Christmas party? So I went and did their Christmas party, and the guy absolutely loved the show. And he's like, listen, I have my family Christmas party tomorrow night. Do you want to come to my house? And I was like, 100%. I didn't have anything that next night. And so I said, yeah, I'll come by. So I came by, did a show for them, and they had alcohol. This bottle, it was like $185 for this bottle of tequila or something like that. It's very premium stuff, and I had never seen it. And so they asked me if I wanted some, and so I had a small drink with them. And so I said to him, I went home and I said, I got to buy this guy this bottle. So I go to the liquor store, and that's when I learned that it's like $185 or $200 for this bottle. And I was like, oh man. But then I found out you can't send alcohol in the mail either. So I reached out to him during COVID, and I said, hey, hope all is well. If you guys are doing any virtual events and stuff, I'd love to join you guys. And hopefully once the COVID is all over and we can get together, I still have a bottle here for you. Now, truth be told, I didn't, but I remembered, because I talked to the client and I went to his house and stuff, that he likes this specific bottle. And so I took a photo of it while I was there so that I could then go and get it. And just a couple of days ago, or yesterday, I got an email from his company, and it was his secretary emailing me to say they loved you so much last time, they want me back this Christmas. And I said, the only reason he did that is because I went the extra mile. Like, sure, they love the show and stuff, but I went the extra mile to find something that this guy liked and personalized it to him. And I still mailed him out a handwritten card and stuff after the show, and just said, next time we meet, I have a gift for you as well. And so now I know, like, I'm going to book this gig. No matter, like I told them, my price has gone up. They're still going to book me because the owner of the company knows that if I come, I have a gift for him, right? And so
makes
it's
a difference between, just a random person they're going to hire that they haven't met before and don't have that relationship.
It's absolutely massive. And I said, when I was looking for a car, I was talking to a sales guy in Saskatoon, and I'm in Ontario, and I emailed him on Sunday night. This past weekend was the long weekend here for us. So Monday was a holiday. And within 5 minutes, he had already emailed me back on Sunday night at like 10 o'clock. And I said, holy crap. And then he kept emailing me over the weekend or over like the Monday and stuff. And I said, this guy is a fantastic sales guy. Now, the sales guy I had was nice, but I said he never went the extra mile on anything. I said, I just bought a BMW first time. I said, you could throw me some swag, right? And he was like, yeah, I'll show you the store that we have. And then I was like, oh, I would love to get a hat just so I'd wear it into my fiance's workplace, and she would see that I bought the car. And like, he wouldn't throw in a hat, like nothing. And I was like, I'm never going to recommend you to anybody. So it's so awesome. Saying all that, I just say that because it's so awesome that you took the time to create that piece for the company. And a lot of companies don't realize that as well. Like, I always talk about customization in my show for the company, and some companies get it and some don't at all. But it's so great to see magicians that get it, because it's just great sales. I mean, and you came from marketing or in marketing and stuff. So, I mean, I know you get it, but it, like, for anybody watching, gold nuggets.
It's so important. Yeah.
Like,
Blaze, where is our cue there?
Yeah.
I thought I
hit it 3 times.
I was getting to the page.
But
I'm gonna share something with you guys, but you can't share it here, stream the video, because it's kids and I don't have permission from the parents. But in that same vein, because companies, yes, but even for just like kids event, what I do, but that's like, you need other skills than magic. But as a mom, I just remember the most important thing for me is my obsession with capturing the moment on video, and like the non-stage moment, like the moment like kids play and have fun in that party. Yeah. So when I'm done, like my show, again, I had a chance to test this theory in the past 30 days. I would pull out a camera, and again, no one would tell me like, what the heck are you doing when it's Sony A7III or whatever. Like, recording kids, it's done in very kind of casual way, like, and discreet. But I would capture moments that otherwise the parents would never have. And I would do a little montage. It takes me 15 minutes, to be honest with you, like, to put it together. And I would send that to them. They don't expect that. And it's like, that is what I feel kind of made the difference. So I have one video example. Again, you won't be able to share it, but just for yourself, if you just watch, it's like 1 minute, and you understand like the level of like joy the parents have after they see this.
Could not find that page.
I'm going to show you something I did. Now,
It doesn't.
don't copy me if you're out there and you're thinking, "Oh, that's a great idea. I should do that too." Don't do that. But I went, and because you talk about photos, I went and bought some picture frames, and I have a laser
Nice.
engraver, and so I engraved their logo and my logo on the picture frame, and then take a picture from the event, either
Nice.
myself with the client, like, or people going crazy at the event, and send that to them with the thank you card and stuff. And I know that that's then going to sit on their desk because they're
Yeah,
happy about the
absolutely.
event. And then my logo subconsciously is sitting on their desk for the whole year, right?
Yeah.
And so every day
That's
they
good
go in their
marketing.
office, my logo is as big as theirs, and they're not going to throw it out because it has their logo on it as well.
Yeah.
So if you're watching, don't do that. Come up with your own thing, but
But yeah, I think like as an
going
umbrella,
the extra mile.
as an umbrella kind of term, Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V, he always talks about the idea of like scaling the unscalable. Like if you're
Mhm.
focusing on your business, like go above and beyond in the things that might not necessarily seem like ROI, like return on investment positive in the moment, but
Yeah,
over time are going to make such an important impact on the customer. And so
100%.
he'll bring up the example of like, why does Taylor Swift do private parties for her fans, where like she'll do those gigs where it's like somebody's party or event where they're booking her separately, and it's like that event doesn't necessarily further her career in the grand scheme of things, but at the same time, in the grand scheme of things, it is showing the kind of person that she is, and like giving a very good impression to her fans, and the fact that she is like the kind of person that I don't know much about Taylor Swift, but this is an example that he's given, but it's the fact that it shows that she's the person that's willing to go above and beyond for her fans, and the same thing, it's like showing that you're the person that's willing to go above and beyond for your clients is so important. And even something as simple as having a handwritten card that's sent back to them will make such an important impact. And I've seen a lot of people, that a lot of friends of mine will send handwritten, cards to previous clients. And then those clients will take photos and post on their stories and their Facebook and everything about that, photos of that card when they get it, because it makes an impact on them. And now other companies or friends of theirs are finding out about you through that because you went above and beyond and did something that was unexpected. So,
Speaking of that, I have my cards here. I never actually. So yeah, I got these made with like my logo on the front and address and stuff, and then obviously black inside. So then I have a silver pen and I handwrite out a card, and I put stuff in the card, and I got like a wax seal and stuff. So I wax seal it up with my logo stamp on it and stuff, so that everything represents me and stuff. And like, it's crazy because I got the idea from a guy who has been on the episode, not with both of us plays, but just with myself when I was on Instagram Live doing Magic After Dark, Denny Corby. And you know Denny as well, I think. And I was at Magic Camp with Denny, and Denny's in my wedding now. That's how much we hit it off, became like best friends overnight. And it was probably because of this that I continued to talk to Denny. Not that we wouldn't have talked, but that we became such close friends. Is at the end of Magic Camp, he had to leave early. And so I was doing my lecture or something, and I came back to my room afterwards, and there was a card on my desk. And it said, "To Ryan." And so I opened it up, and it's a card from Denny that he had handwritten out. And I was like, and it was like, "Hey man, had a blast meeting you this week. Hit me up. We should jam and stuff sometime." And I was like, I can't believe that this person took time to handwrite me a card when Magic Camp is busy. But I was like, this is incredible. And I text him right away and said, "Dude, like this, I feel touched almost because you did this." And I still have the card. I kept it, and so those little things stick with people. And so like you customizing your show and stuff like that, I mean, it shows the client as well that you care about what you're doing for them. So I really love that. And like you said, it's a chance to upsell as well. So why
Absolutely.
not?
And a testament to the fact that ECAT is this type of person all around, regardless of whether it's necessarily beneficial for her business. The only previous interaction to this that we had was during that unconventional thing.
Yeah,
And I remember when Ryan told me that you were going to be a guest on the show, I was like, oh, she's great. And I told Ryan the story of this. And also, anybody watching, please do not take this as an invitation to reach out for Ekaterina and try and get free shit. But
yeah, exactly.
But the only interaction that we had previously was I remember jumping in the unconventional, and there were these two girls that were like young teenagers, and one was from I think Pakistan, and the other was from India, and they were asking Ekaterina for advice. And one question they asked was about one, ECAT was being very generous with her time and was just offering a lot of help, but also they asked about different decks of cards and what they should get because they didn't have access to certain things in the area. And they weren't asking for something, they were asking for advice about what they should use. And ECAT's first response was, oh, send me your address. I'll send you this, and this, and this. I want to help you on your magic journey. And I was like, wow, this is really this is a genuine, great, helpful person. And it made a really amazing first impression. I was like, wow, that's awesome of you. And, it's like just going above and beyond as a person makes such an impact on people because they get to see that, how caring you are and that you would be willing to not think of life transactionally, that you would be willing to do something that's just out of the goodness of your heart for somebody else, not looking for something in return. So I was like, oh, that's really cool, just all around.
Oh, that's nice. You spotted that. I genuinely feel like for me, like giving is much more rewarding than receiving. And that's probably why my Tesla will have to wait. But it's really, really, really different kind
you
of
sound
mindset.
A little bitter about that. No,
no, but like
all this giving, it's just really cutting into my Tesla fund.
No, but it's never gonna break me to hand out like a couple of decks of cards. That's why I think it's important. It might not again, it doesn't make a huge impact for me, but I know it makes a huge impact for them. So for me, it's a no-brainer. But coming back to just supporting, especially supporting girls that are on this journey. And I've had a few interactions. I'm not going to name the individual, but I've had an interaction with a girl in Magic. She's really struggling. She moves places. And I just said, let me transfer you some money, whatever, and that was also like after my high where I was like, I just did the Coca-Cola commercial. Like I've never, had this kind of paycheck. So I was like, you're in this really hard place. Let me do that for you. And that person went further in Magic than I did. And I'm so proud. I'm like, you never know how much what you do is going to help someone get that extra motivation, actually then make a living doing Magic. So I'm really, really proud when that happens. So I'm very confident these girls, again, it was a really minor gesture, but I really feel like if that could help be a building block for them to have that, kind of motivation to pursue Magic, then it's worth it every single time. And I'm saying girls, but I may have said girls and guys too, obviously. But yeah, it's I wish our community and the Magic community, I wish was more inclusive, it's less judgmental. I do find that there aren't that many people that really just want to build people up. I feel like we do, overall as a community struggle with that concept.
I mean, I've said it before on previous episodes that there's always, and I mentioned to my friend today, I said, I said, ECAT's coming on tonight. And I said, and I've had the conversation with other females in Magic about the saying, oh, you're a female magician. And I was like, and I said, and then there's the award, Female Magician of the Year. And I was like, should there be that award? Or should it just be Magician of the Year because we're all magicians and we're all graded on the same things, right? And I said, I think it's amazing, if you can help people out. And obviously, being a female, I mean, and knowing the struggles of working through the magic community and how it is very male dominated and stuff. Obviously, I mean, I wouldn't. Your heart is going to go out to other females, trying to do the same thing. So, and I applaud that because it's incredible. But at the same time, guys should be doing the same thing for girls as well. And I don't know if it's because, let's be honest, in Magic there is a lot of weird, creepy old guys. Maybe I don't know. Just putting it out there, but I don't know if that maybe has been the precursor to why there isn't as many females now. Like, I feel like, at least with our generation, I feel like it's a little bit more inclusive. But with the old guys, it was like the old guys club, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, one of the reasons I hadn't gone to a magic convention after 2011 was one of the comments I received. And I always put myself out there, like I'll be in videos, I'll be, lecturing, I'll be doing things. Maybe I'm not ready at the time, but I'll still do it just because, still have something to say. So I do put myself in situations where sometimes it's, I am put on the spot, but when I get comments like, why is she wearing a skirt? Like, or why is like a short skirt? Like she's saying she's like pro women, but her skirt is showing way too much. Like, and I'm like the last person like that dresses, quote unquote slutty. But that kind of, that was the point where I'm like, what am I doing talking to these people? I can have, I don't need this necessarily. I can have an impact and have my own community through YouTube and have people that I can actually help. I struggled with that. And I think there's still quite a bit of people like that, but now it's different things I'm being judged on, but you're always judged on something. But I guess the problem is, especially online now, and especially with the pandemic, I guess some people are more frustrated than there's
angry
people.
trolls.
That's it. People don't get the impact of what they say, and like there's no limit to how much they can insult you. And it's like, you don't even know me. Like, why do you go there? Like, it's not necessary. And I've had an incident in January where most magicians went against me, I would say, in a moment where I was revealing some card tricks. And it was like the verbal abuse that got to me. And I'm like, I've had 14 plus years career in magic. Like, this is the worst verbal abuse that I've got, and I don't get it. And I have a lot of, counterparts that are the opposite sex that did not get the same treatment. So really in that moment, I'm like, I thought we moved forward from this, but there's still, double standards.
There's a big issue with, there's so many issues in the community when it comes to elitism and just using being a magician as a way to try and like look down on other people and things in the community. But also it's something that you kind of touched on. The idea of the magic community is kind of a ridiculous concept anyways, because it's very easy to become a member of this community by just learn a couple tricks online. You could watch a couple TikTok videos at this point, and now you can call yourself a magician and say you're a member of this community. You could be an absolutely toxic person, and that doesn't mean that I need to associate you or that we're in the same community. Like, I don't know you, dude. Like, I think that all of us need, like what you were saying, we all just need to have our own communities, which is our friend groups and people that we actually care about, the opinions that we care about, and not worrying about trying to fit in within this community, which isn't really a community in the first place. And it's just people that at some point or another learn some magic tricks, whether there's someone who performs or just does it in their bedroom or just shows their family. Like, it doesn't matter. It's not really a real community, but people use this as a way to be toxic to other people. And it's, it's pretty horrifying. It's pretty horrendous. And especially like the vitriol that you got over something that I think was really minute. Like, you didn't do something that was very
I think it blew up very quickly out of like
it is crazy though.
There's also a lot of on Facebook, right, where you were getting a lot.
It was mainly Facebook, but I guess what upset me the most, like I don't mind to stand up for myself. Like, I can, whatever face whoever is chatting, and post myself. I tried to join that group twice. I was not accepted once. And I know exactly who is declining me. So it's like I don't even get to defend myself or to say something or
It's ridiculous. Yeah, and Facebook is just toxic. Sorry, Ryan, I keep stepping over. I'm just going to say Facebook is toxic in general. And I remember a while ago, someone that I know had released an effect, and they had then they had gone on television and they'd garnered a larger following outside of the magic community, whatever. They had garnered a large following, and they released an effect, and then there were a ton of Facebook threads that were written saying, I don't think that it's okay that this person is releasing effects at this point because they have such a large non-magician following. And the comment threads were all of these old non-performing magicians, or like, you know, like people whose opinions it doesn't matter, but it was hundreds of people all going like, oh, this is horrible because it's getting a bunch of bad kids into magic, you know, like kids that are bad at magic into it. And it's like, we all sucked when we started out. Why do you think that teaching magic to a new generation is a bad thing in any sense? You know, like we should be growing this and actually making a community. But the issue is that you have a bunch of people that magic was the thing that made them cool in any way. And so if you then expose it to a larger group of people, now they're less cool because now they feel like there's other people that can do this thing that was the only thing they had. So now they're going to just lash out and attack you for no reason. Anyway, sorry for it. On you, right?
I forget where I was going to say now. So thanks, please.
I could take it more controversial. So yesterday I listened to a podcast that said magic is dead. I don't know if you guys saw that one. So
I saw the Facebook post about it, the Jabrizi post. Yeah. I didn't see the podcast though.
So I think it's an interesting listen. And to be honest, I don't disagree with some of the points that he made in terms of why magic could be, like one of the things he said is like slime has more search results than magic right now, like how to make slime. It's not false. Like my son is watching a lot of these videos. His primary entertainment is not magic. So how do you get
businesses
magic?
Are not paying for slime.
So that's employees. Let's make slime videos.
Let's make slime.
But it is, it is interesting though that, another thing that he mentioned, there's the magicians that were kind of the milestone magicians like Copperfield, Chris, David Blaine. Like maybe Shin Lim was mentioned by a few folks, but there hasn't been too many magicians mentioned. I think it is definitely
here's my question for you, because to cut you off on that, because this is something that I've thought about for the last little while, and and I'm going to say this: I respect the heck out of all of these guys, but you look at guys like Copperfield, Penn and Teller. Anybody that's big in Vegas, those are the big, I would say the biggest two. Chris Angel, obviously, but like Matt King, all of those guys are fairly old. Like even Chris is in his 50s. That's true. And Copperfield and Penn and Teller have both said, we will die on stage, right? And I think personally, like I love both of them. I've seen Penn and Teller's show like 10 times. I will support their show all the time. Same with Copperfield and stuff. And I've seen Chris's show a few times as well. And like to say that they're going to die on stage, like Penn and Teller is 73 years old, I think now.
Wow.
And they just signed a 10-year extension last year, I think, or the year before. So he's going to be 80 or just over 80 years old performing on stage. And I think that is jeopardizing the magic community going forward, because it's not letting new guys that are doing really well have
get
the
that
opportunity.
Spotlight.
So like Shin Lim is very lucky that he's gotten in. Not that he's very lucky; he's very talented, but he's lucky he's got a spot in Vegas now with Colin, and they're doing their thing, and things are great. But like Banachek just got a spot in Vegas, and Banachek is great. I mean, he's so brilliant, but again, he's a guy that's kind of done everything in mentalism in the magic community, and now he's just starting a show in Vegas. And I know, I mean, like I said, Vanacek is unbelievable, and I'm sure his show is fantastic. But and I'm not saying I should be in Vegas, I should be in that spot, but I'm saying there's guys that have been traveling doing the illusionists and stuff like that, and young guys that are really talented, but just have not been given the opportunity, because those opportunities are not going to come for a while. Like the MGM Grand, the Rio are not looking for a magic act.
Residency once it's filled, it's filled. Yeah.
Well, and that also brings up an interesting thought, though, is Vegas necessarily the pinnacle of where one goes to start a magic career? Because the thing is, like, if you're talking about young guys being able to promulgate in the magic community and have a successful career, like, if outside of the magic industry, obviously, Vegas is a huge hub for magic, where you have some of the biggest magic shows, and those biggest magic shows happen to be a lot of older magicians, usually outside of Matt Franco and Shin. But like outside of the magic industry, usually Vegas is kind of where acts go to retire. Like nobody starts their career in Vegas, like it's not really the place to for young performers.
No, for sure. But I would say like you look at Xavier Mortimer, who's got a show in Vegas, and I think he's probably one of the most talented magicians on the face of the earth. And everybody that I've had go to Vegas, I've said, go see Penn and Teller, go see Copperfield, go see Mac, go see Xavier Mortimer. And he does more hard sleight of hand magic, crazy stuff in his show than any other show in Vegas, because he's super, super skilled. And all of them afterwards have said, I love that show so much, but that guy is in a 75-seat theater, the smallest theater. And then you've got other acts that are in these massive theaters. And so Xavier has probably more trouble putting people in the seats at his theater, because he's probably four-walling the same as most people in Vegas now. But I just look at that guy and go, you should have a huge theater, and unfortunately he probably won't. He got moved because he was at Planet Hollywood, I believe, and when Chris Angel moved there.
Okay, because Murray was in there at some point, no?
I'm not sure where Murray was.
I saw Murray. He was at, I think, Planet Hollywood. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe Murray moved out of there, or maybe he does a different time show.
Murray was also in a small theater. But I think Mortimer is at Bally's now, right?
I think he's at Bally's now, but he got moved because in Chris Angel's contract, when he moved to Planet Hollywood, it says no other magic acts can perform in this vicinity, and it's like a certain amount of distance that they can't be there. And so I was like, so you have this really great act with Xavier Mortimer, and no, Chris's show is great as well. I can't say bad about it right now. Years ago, yes, but now they've got a really solid show. And I go, that sucks, because now Xavier, who's doing a really great job, is now kicked out of his spot because a new guy or an old guy comes in and says, no one can perform in this area except for me. And I thought that it's just doing damage to the magic community. And so I wouldn't say that people I would say that magicians anyways, would still, or I won't say that, I will say laymen or regular people look at Vegas for magicians as the pinnacle, right? Like
they remember those names much more
100%.
Than someone they would see on social media. Like
I get asked all the time, like, oh, don't you want to have a show in Vegas and stuff? And I go, well, no, because you have to go to Vegas a millionaire and leave poor, because you're four-walling, right? Most of the time, if you're going, you're four-walling, and you're paying for all the advertisements that you see on cabs, all the billboards, all of that stuff. It's coming out of your pocket or your investor's pocket. And so if you're not putting people in the seats, then you're gone and you're broke, because it's just cost you $1 million to be there, right?
Yeah, unless
So
you have like again those agreements, multi-million-dollar agreements that you sign for
yeah,
multiple years. And I really feel like those agreements, like again, I don't watch sports, maybe Ryan, you can tell me, but like an athlete gets offered similar agreements where like, okay, you switch teams or whatever, here's a $5-8 million, deal for you. I feel like
yeah,
magicians only in Vegas would get that type of offer. Like where else? What other city you can get a multi-million contract to perform magic somewhere?
yeah, yeah. It is very rare, but that's why I say like with Xavier, like he's still competing against Penn and Teller and
Yeah,
David Copperfield
yeah.
and Chris Angel, who have these massive venues and massive budgets. And he's doing a fantastic job, but he's not going to get an opportunity to move to, at least in my opinion, he won't get an
Yeah.
opportunity to move into one of those bigger venues until
Until
the older
someone
guy
dies.
steps down. Yeah, they'll really die on stage. And I look at that, and as much as I respect those guys for loving performing magic so much and wanting to perform and continue to perform, it's like Copperfield is a billionaire, and I mean he's
Yeah, you have an island at
still,
that point.
yeah, he's still doing a great job, and he's still coming up with new tricks and stuff like that, and their team is doing great. But at the same time, it's like he could do world tour after world tour and sell out everywhere he went. Is that jeopardizing the magic community? And like Copperfield has been amazing, super nice to me and stuff over the years, so I can't say anything bad about the guy. But I just wonder if that's hurting the magic community in the long run, is people trying to stay in that place longer than they have to be. Right?
That's a really good point. It's a really good point. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, we don't have enough new faces there for sure.
That's it. There's nothing new and exciting, right? So, but
and if you go back to social media, they're not necessarily the most active on social media. So they're losing a demographic. They maintain the one. So there's kind of in the middle where, yeah, something will have to shift at some point. There will be some disruption. I think social media is trying to do that. And yeah, I don't know which pull will be stronger, but it's still difficult to capture. Like even just starting doing in-person shows again, it's a different dimension. Like, yeah, virtual school, great that we were able to do it.
Yeah.
But it's a different dimension. You have a different experience, like you lived through something. And you're more likely to talk about that versus a virtual show, but we'll see what happens. I guess the thing is, I feel like most of us are just like, really in love with the art that is magic, and we think it's like the coolest thing.
Yeah.
But what's the best way to position magic against everything else? Because at the end of the day, we're competing for the wallet if someone's going to watch a singer or go to a hockey game or to the movies.
Yeah.
Like that's what we're competing against at the end.
Yeah. So Blaise, I would
leave the question.
Oh, sorry. To answer your question, Blaise, are magicians not in Vegas to retire? I would say, like, look at Shin Lim and Colin. They're both young in their magic and mentalism careers. Do you think that they should go to Vegas and then just be there for the next 40 or 50 years?
Well, I mean, the thing is, I think that's kind of like the situation. I mean, at least with Shin, I mean, for him, it's like him and Casey are like, we've been traveling around constantly for like the past, I mean, almost decade at this point. So they're like, we want to
touring,
so it's like they wanted to stop touring. And so that was the whole thing. They're not fans of touring anymore. They want to be in one place. And I feel like, maybe they've reached that conclusion earlier than most would,
Yeah.
But I was more just, extrapolating out that like, where are you going to see, like Donnie and Marie or, those kind of acts, it's like they go to Vegas, it's like, that's where they can
I always say that pop stars go to Vegas to die, like, Britney Spears and stuff. But then you look at like Celine Dion, who has like her career has probably gone tenfold up since going to Vegas because, NBA players are going and watching her and tweeting about it and stuff. And so, I mean, I think that there's still the huge upside and opportunity there. I just don't think that the new kids on the block are really getting a shot there. And I mean, maybe that's a kick in our pants to go, well, you got to be better than Copperfield to get in there, but it's really hard to have a name in the Magic community bigger than David Copperfield.
Well,
So I don't
yeah,
think
and I think
anybody's.
it kind of just boils down then to like, can you sell the tickets? Like that's pretty
Yeah.
much it. You know, it's like
Yeah.
Shin is in the position where he was able to do a Vegas residency because he can sell the tickets because he has the name recognition, you know, and
100%.
like, you know, Copperfield, the same thing, you know, Penn and Teller, the same thing. And that's off. And in all of those cases, it was because of success outside of the live domain in film, in television. Pretty much like Copperfield, it was television specials. Penn and Teller, it was having multiple TV shows, whether that was bullshit, whether it was Penn and Teller Fool Us, when it was any of their TV shows. You know, Shin, America's Got Talent, TV show. It's like Chris Angel, you know, Mind Freak. All of them, because they had success in another domain, which was television, they were able to have the fan base to push ticket sales. I don't know if it's necessarily the not having the chance. I think it's like Xavier Mortimer is a great example of somebody who, during this quarantine, took that quarantine as an opportunity to really hit social media hard, blow up, get millions of followers on TikTok, and now is hitting a different domain other than TV. Even though he's been on Fool Us, he's been on AGT, been on different television shows. You know, he doesn't necessarily have as large of a television fan base comparatively to the other people that are killing it in Vegas. So, you know, his fan base and the and maybe the size of his theater is appropriate based off of his ability to sell tickets. And like, that's
I'm not saying that.
Down to, you know, and I think that, like, you know, other people, like, for example, Julius Dean, like, I don't think he would necessarily want to ever move into a Vegas show, nor do I necessarily think that he would have the best Vegas show, to be honest, even though I think that he kills it at the social media game. I just think that, like, also having worked with multiple people, like consulting on social media magic, a lot of the social media magicians that I've worked with will say the same thing of, hey, man, I feel like I'm becoming worse of a magician the longer I do social media magic because I'm no longer practicing anything over and over. I am now trying to work out a new trick, film it, get content with it, move on. Now on to the next thing. Film it, get content with it, move on. And so you're never practicing and refining a routine or a show or an act. You're just constantly working on new stuff all the time. But I think that, you know, somebody like Julius, he would be able to go to Vegas if he really wanted to, and he would be able to sell tickets because he has the fan base and he has the pull. And I guess that's the exciting thing about the advent of social media, is that it's accessible to the person who doesn't have the funding and the producers and the backing of some big corporation behind them, you know, yet, you know, it's a way that you can get attention and get an audience out of nowhere, and then you can use that audience to tour or to, you know, to do shows. For example, like the first my first gig that I got after moving to LA a few years ago was working on this world tour with this musician, Tadra Call, and his whole thing was entirely grassroots social media driven. And just by him posting videos on YouTube for years, he was able to get millions of followers and then was able to self-fund and independently do his own world tour because he had fans all over the world, you know, and that's something that just wouldn't have been possible prior to social media. So I think that even though I agree that the people that have been most successful right now in Magic are older, and they're people that have been able to have careers in television things outside of that and already have the money to be able to do it. So they're not starting from nothing. Right now, I think is a really exciting time because we're in that transition period where the new TV is social media. People watch more TikTok than they do, you know, television.
And I would say it has to go that direction now as well, because like if we look, if any of us look at TV or Magic on TV now, first, there usually are not those opportunities, I would say, anymore. Like, you know, when Copperfield was doing specials, it was like they're doing things that, you know, budget wise is just insane. Which, you know, is never happening anymore.
Can't produce an airplane unless you can afford an airplane.
Exactly. But but also like, yeah, with the amount of programming on TV now as well, like back then there's not 900 channels on TV that,
There's like
for people to
content
click through.
overload right now.
It's content overload. And we see magic specials that are on now, or magic television shows, are doing terrible usually. Like Fool Us is an exception, and a David Blaine special is an exception. But to be honest, most other magic TV shows, I don't think are killing it right now, because people remember, like, okay, Chris Angel, who did pretty much everything that you could do in Street Magic, and then add some editing and stuff and go 10 times fold, is impossible to try to top. And if you do an ambitious card or you do a 2-card Monty, all of a sudden you are garbage, and you are copying David Blaine, you're copying Chris Angel, you're copying Dynamo. Like everything is a copy of a copy of a copy. And so you're immediately like thrown under the bus. And I mean, there's guys obviously like the Cabanero effect and stuff like that who brought magic into a different limelight in TV. But does that equal a Vegas show?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I'm noticing 2 trends right now. I'm noticing one trend is like first stage touring shows. It's like a combination of people. So it's no longer one individual.
Yeah.
It's like a group of magicians. So that's one trend that I've noticed. And I've been there's a production, a pretty solid like TV/show production in Quebec a few years back, reached out to me. They're like, we want you to be like the girl of that like group or whatever. And we're going to do TV. We're going to do stage. Like for the next 3 years, you're going to tour with us. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Like, not there in my life.
Feel being reached out to and being, I want you to be the girl of the group. Like,
Right.
regardless of everything that you do, all of your talents.
You qualify because you're.
Yeah.
Weird. Yeah, it was weird. But one simple question I had asked, and again, this production company has done like really well outside of the magic stuff they produced. The magic like really didn't do so well, but they did like the French version in Quebec of the Big Brother, like that did really, really well. But anyway, so I've asked like, okay, so like what's the potential financially here? Because like 1, I have this commitment. At that time I was with L'Oreal. 2, like just had a kid. Like, I have commitments. I can't just like leave everything like tour with you guys. Plus I have like no idea what it in Quebec, like what it would equate, because we're not talking about millions in Quebec. It's a very small province of Canada, right? Not big population. So yeah, they couldn't give me much answers or anything. And again, they didn't really care about skill at that point for that role, and ended up hiring someone that wasn't really a magician to begin with, which is funny. But yeah, so that's one trend for anything staged, like you get these groups. And then 2, on TV also, it's often also kind of a group of magicians that would be performing. So I don't know, maybe it's harder for folks. I know why production companies are going there, and it's like, oh, this person could relate to that kind of personality, or this, like, it has worked in the past, things outside of magic, to have like those kind of groups. But at the same time, even like singing groups, if you think about it, like NSYNC or whatever, a lot of people separated afterwards, did their own thing. I don't know. I just felt like in my personal magic style, I never saw myself like never say never, right? But I never really saw myself in a group of magicians. Like I would find that, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, even like with the illusionists, I think. Brian just lagged out. All right. Well, now we're gonna just switch over to the just the 2 of us. All right.
It's lonely now.
Yeah.
Now we can talk badly about
I'm not
Ryan.
even here with you. What? Yeah, we can talk about Ryan. Right here he is. All right. There you are. Habibi. His camera's not working though. But even like with the illusionists, like they have touring productions all around, and here he is.
We're back.
Hey.
Welcome to Magic. I don't know what happened. My internet went down or something. It was like all of a sudden everybody was just rotating the whole thing. So I was like, is it just me, or did the podcast go down?
find out.
Side note,
but yeah,
I've eaten way too many Oreo cookies for a guy who said he was only going to eat one.
I'm gonna eat the second one. Well,
I've had like 6 probably. This
but
is the
even with
last.
like what you're talking about with the group, like with the illusionists, it's like they turn it into a cast of characters, you know, like rather than, you know, we're gonna have, you know, Yuho Jin, Colin Cloud, you know, da 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 da. It's like we have the manipulator, the mentalist, you know, the sorceress, which is the woman. Like we have, you know, da 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 da. You know, so it's like, you know, you're filling that role within the cast, which, you know, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. You know, it's just, I guess it's what's marketable for them.
I feel it's either that concept or you're competing for something. And I mean, I've been in so many competitions, like, okay, Wizard Wars, Foolus, the next great magician. Okay, like, after that, I had my kind of dose of competition.
Yeah.
But still, I had no choice to go into that kind of concept because that's the only thing that was available to me.
Thing.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, not just to me, but I think to any magician. But it does feel strange. It's like, you know, we're either competing or you're a part of something. But yeah, that strong kind of one performer, really memorable. It's like in a movie, you have a main leading actor, and people usually kind of like fight for that role, right? In Magic, I find in these groups, it's hard to tell who has that leading role.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
I guess a very open-ended, broad question would then be, what do you feel, and you can answer in any facet that you like, what do you feel like the future of Magic looks like to you? What do you see the future of Magic looking like? Whether that is...
we could hear you chewing even with the mute on. So loud.
Oh man, just grating.
Yeah, it's like crunch. Oh.
No, see,
That's
like
all we heard.
chocolate
The
pieces.
black.
Yeah.
That's why I have a mustache. Look, I'm smiling.
You're like,
It's black.
it'd be like right in the middle, right?
Yeah.
But what do I think is the future of Magic with all this?
What does it look like to you? Yeah. Is there something that you foresee that you haven't seen yet in Magic that you think is going to happen?
I'm expecting some kind of disruption. Like, I really feel it's been slow building, to be honest. Like, there's so many industries where it's like skyrocketed with disruption. Like, in my marketing career, I've been very good at spotting the disruption. Like, I was in B2B, L'Oreal, the last division I worked in, and it was hair salons, right? Buying the product. And they wouldn't like open e-commerce websites. Like, is it beneficial for them to open an e-commerce website and sell retail versus, let's say, the brand, the L'Oreal brand, would open an e-commerce and then maybe create an affiliate program or a kickback to these salons. Like, that's a little bit more sustainable. So I launched a few of these. Like, also, I launched like Sephora. For those who don't know Sephora is not launched the brand Sephora. I launched our products, B2B products, in that retail location. And I remember like salons like almost boycotting like the brand, like, how dare you sell it elsewhere than a salon? Like, it's, you know, it's a professional product. And I'm like, that's like the future. So with all of these like e-commerce efforts right before the pandemic, they were so well set. Like, one of the main reasons a lot of them survived, well, yes, there's government support, but it's because brands like L'Oreal were able to support these folks because they had ramped up e-commerce. So that's a trend I was able to predict. With Magic, I don't know, I kind of try not to put too much business into it, but I'm trying to see like what is going to make money for Magic. Other, like, again, a Vegas residency, you could get a multi-million-dollar contract if you just, the problem is if you're only a service, you are not, unfortunately, scalable because it's your time. Yes, over time, and you can do all the great things we mentioned and charge more premium, but still, you have to turn it into a business. So I'd like to see magicians be more rounded kind of, you know, business. And I think part of like selling merchandise is they're like a successful kind of YouTuber right now. They have merch, they have, you know, there are multiple revenue streams, right, that come with that. So I feel like we rely too much on gigging, on performing for that finance. So I do feel like those who will be successful have multiple, know how to invest, right, Blaze, but have multiple like revenue streams and will really see themselves as a brand that could be scalable by having products that then actually are for your audience versus just magicians. And I struggle with that personally because most of my products, I would say 99.9%, are geared towards magicians. So that I don't think is sustainable in my business, and maybe part of why I still need to do marketing on the side to feel like I'm, providing for my family in a proper way. So I'd like to crack the code, but I really feel like it's just I need to think of it as a business, but we don't want as artists or performers to think of it as a business.
Yeah.
So
it is
I don't.
interesting.
Yeah. Go ahead, sir.
I mean, even when I've done theater shows and stuff and had a merch table, like I put out decks of cards that I had, like the Victoria deck that I created, right?
Yeah.
But for a layman, this means nothing.
Exactly.
And I was talking to some after, and I had like the poster from the show, and I had signed a bunch and stuff, and those sell. And I'm like, why is like a poster selling of just my face? Compared to like a deck of cards that someone can actually use, and but they're like they want T-shirts, they want that stuff to remember that the night, and so now obviously we've been in COVID, so I'm not selling T-shirts of my virtual show, but maybe I should. But in saying that, it is another thing, and I think for magicians. I don't know if magicians are just not risk takers maybe as much, but it's like that financial investment, like you talked about before, investing in the deck of cards that you want to create yourself and do it all yourself. But I feel the same as like magicians are like, well, if I order T-shirts, I got to order 100 T-shirts. And then if they don't sell, they're going to sit at my house. Right. And a business would just go like, okay, we need T-shirts, get T-shirts. Right. And like, and so I think magicians are always thinking about to invest in another trick or something like that, how to make the show better and not so much be full, well-rounded. So I agree with you. But I think also as well, potentially, maybe if you're on the road, it's a lot harder. But now with like drop shipping and stuff, you can go online and set up an account. And if someone orders your T-shirt, another company makes it and sends it out and just sends you the money, and so it's pretty easy to do, but
yeah, but that's definitely that's a really good thought process that you have, Ekat, about focusing on how you can scale whatever your current operation or endeavor is, and like how can this grow, and not just kind of getting complacent with like, oh, I'm a gigging magician, so I'm just gonna gig until I die. How can you actually scale this as a business? And it's interesting because I think that a lot of the people, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like a lot of the people that approach magic from a business perspective of how can I use magic in order to make money, end up getting kind of looked down upon by the magic community, by people who say like, oh, how like magic is the end goal, just be an artist, the art form. But then at the same time, it's like those people might have a great show or whatever, but who's seeing it? Who's actually able to know that you have a good show? Like you're not selling tickets, and that was always like the for me, like in LA, that was always the thing that I spent the most time trying to do, was just get butts in seats. It's like I would self-produce a show, and then I'm trying to do all of the different roles. And then, regardless of how good the show is, if nobody sees it, it doesn't matter. So it's like, that was what I always put the most effort into, was trying to get people to see it. But I think that, like, I remember Jabrizi and Paul Vu used to be my neighbors for a while. They used to live across the street from me. And so every so often we would hang out. And I remember I went over, and scattered across, they were roommates, and scattered across the whole countertop was all of these business books. It was all about, different e-commerce, marketing, and all of these things. And it was like, you go to any magician, like a magician that you go to see at the Magic Castle's apartment in LA, and it's all just magic books across everywhere. There was not a magic book to be seen, but it was all about how to properly grow social media, how to run an online business. And I think that, the right way to approach things is definitely somewhere in the middle. It's like if you make just the like, oh, I'm just going to be like a starving artist your goal, then you're going to end up being a starving artist, but you're still starving.
You're going to end up starving.
You're just going to be starving. That's it.
I'd
Yeah.
love to see a startup, like a magic startup, succeed and become $1 billion company. That has not happened ever.
No.
Yeah.
But you could be selling electric scooters and become a billionaire. So that's the hard part with our industry. Like, how do you scale to that point where it becomes not niche but mass? I don't know. I think it's only Copperfield that's a billionaire right now.
But I would say that to do that, it's tough because again, with the magic community, it's like secrets somewhat, right? So you see like companies like Illusionist or Theory 11, stuff like that, maybe Penguin and Murphy's, that are making those substantial amount of money because they're selling, quote unquote, the secrets of magic. But other than that, like if you were to sell merch as like a magician to the general public, again, then
it's not. Yeah, it's still too much.
That's I don't very think niche.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with niche, but a niche could still be $1 billion niche. Like
it
the
could
pharma
be,
industry is a niche, right?
Yeah.
It's a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Yeah.
I would say a good example. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
But yeah, if you took something like scooters or something, scooters apply to everybody in the entire world. Not that magic doesn't, but it's a use thing where ours is more of a not a I guess a service essentially. Like if you're gigging, you're a service, right?
But there was sorry, go ahead, Ryan.
Like a magic agency. I'm saying a magic agency that had like tons of magicians under their belt, like something like Gig Masters or something like that, could become a multi-million, maybe $1 billion company if they were, sending magicians out to gigs all over the world, right? But even that is, there's so many of those now that it's hard to, take over that stream. So
you think about even the cosmetics industry, like what Ecat's in. It's like, okay, so we're going to market to only 50% of the population, and it's going to be even smaller than that because it's only specific women within this subsect of women. So, but still, you're able to have $1 billion industries within that. So it's just about finding a way to make the niche, something that's mass appealing.
But here's the thing as well that I learned with me, because I almost bought a magic shop during COVID. Yeah, there was a magic shop for sale, and I thought about it, and I talked to a couple of my buddies who would probably invested in it as well. And in the end, I wanted to turn it into more of a performing, like speakeasy performance venue place, and then a magic shop on the side. But they had a costume and makeup shop there as well, and they were connected with a few different theaters and play groups and stuff that bought makeup from them. And here is the number one thing I learned when talking to the owner was makeup. He made most of his money in makeup opposed from magic, even though the store was a magic shop. And the reason was because females mostly are using makeup, but use it and then need more. And with magic, the only thing that people are buying consistently is decks of cards. And most of the time they're then going to Costco to get a brick of bikes. And so it was one of those things. He was like, turning from magic into makeup was one of the greatest things he ever had. And that's why he was selling the shop to go sailing for the rest of his life. He was like, makeup, I sold a ton of makeup because he's like, every week that clown is going through all the white face paint, and needs a refill. Where in magic, we don't have that much that's refills. unless you're Yigal Masika and you need loops every week.
Yeah.
That's like one of the only guys that has like something that's refillable that people need all the time, unless they learn how to make their own, right? So
Yeah,
I think
well,
that's
the
where
whole
it.
thing, like, razor blades are made to oxidate, so you're like forever in debt to them to shave.
100%. I go through a lot of razor blades, but it, yeah, it's one of those things where things that are constantly need to be refilled, like, you know, like if you bought ketchup and never had to buy ketchup again because it just lasted forever, Heinz would not be Heinz, right? Like they would go out of business because everybody would eventually, like, that was my problem when I started making card clips. I said every card clip has a lifetime warranty. So if it ever falls apart, just send it back because I want to stand behind my product. And then after almost 10 years of running the store, I said, that was a really bad idea. And I really do stand behind my product. No, I really do stand behind my product. And I've only ever had like 1 or 2 people send something back. And the one guy, I mean, I could tell that he was a restaurant worker and this thing had sat in beer and everything else. Ooh. And it was like cut. And I just made him a new one and sent it back. I was like, this is not worth fixing. You've destroyed it. But in saying that, I was like, once everybody has one, they don't need another one unless they just want to collect them for the look of them, right? Because they last forever. It's like anodized aluminum. It's not rusting out. It's not, you know, falling apart. And so, you know, that was the thing. Like I said, decks of cards is really the only way to consistently have an income. Like if you're a company like Theory 11, like if we look at Theory 11, they don't release many tricks anymore. And why? Because
or it's a very good gimmick that is complicated enough that the buyer wouldn't make it themselves. Yep. And they would continually buy them every time they break.
Yep, 100%. But I mean, they print a ton of decks of cards. They print a ton of decks of cards. They're basically, they print money when they print them. You know, and they're probably one of the only companies that does that. Every time they bring out a deck, like they're selling.
And they've been really good to go out of just like magicians. Okay, let's have a deck for SNL or a deck for Neil Patrick Harris. Like so, I think that was a smart move.
100%. They're reaching outside of the magic community. Yeah. But in saying that, I think if it was a magic product, I think it's really hard to turn it into $1 billion business selling to magicians who are starving artists that don't want to pay for anything.
You would have to go broader than magicians. And I think that's 100%. Where you're going to get crucified by magicians.
And that's the problem, right? Well, I've said to Blaze, like if I look in my office, all of the books that I have are all business books as well. Like I have 1 magic or 2 magic books in my office. Everything else is business based because I would rather now learn about business more than, and I took business in college for a couple of years and stuff. Before I went off to take religion and theology, I was a business major, and I would still rather learn more about business than sit and read about magic, because I know my show is already good. Obviously, I want the show to be better, but Blaze is helping me with another show that I wrote, and it's a very personal show, but it's not one that I could take and do a corporate gig. It's not one that I could be in Vegas and do the show. It would maybe be in New York City or something like that, where it's a more artsy community, or in Toronto or something like that, or LA, but it would not be something that's commercial. I could never do it at a corporate event. And so I think that's the thing, is you, as a magician, you have to decide, is that what you want to do? Do you want to be a corporate entertainer and do the family friendly show, or even adult show, like 18 plus or whatever, or do you want to be the starving artist? So I think it's tough, and I think it's hard to have the best of both worlds in that.
That's a good point. Well, it's interesting. I feel like we have so much in common. Like we like business. We like, obviously there's a lot of talents in this chat. It's good. I
Okay,
don't
what
like.
is your
Sorry,
what's
go
your
ahead.
what's your
Oh,
favorite book that's not a magic book, business book? I'll say. I've
So
got
it's
two that
it's
are.
it's one of them is create and orchestrate. I'll have to find the link to it. But basically, because I always struggled, even within like organizations I work with, to differentiate what I do versus sales. Because
Yeah.
I'm not the sales director, I'm the marketing director, right? Or CMO, whatever. There is always someone that had sales that is not me. Maybe my next step is to also head sales, to be sales and marketing VP. But right now my roles have been, heading marketing departments. And so I always would get challenged with like, well, what's your role as marketer versus sales? And I liked that book, and I'll find you guys a link. I'm really bad with names, but and I do this as an opening statement sometimes when I present for the first time to someone. I'm like, marketing generates demand, sales generates revenue. That's my job. Is to generate demand as a marketer, because I don't want a push strategy. We're in a world where there's, again, so many touch points, so many distractions. Like, we're hit with thousands of like ads like every day. So it's very, very difficult. So you really have to go towards more of that pull demand. And so one example I had given in the company that I work in now is like, we did this tool that allows you to select the right base that you need to do something with, whatever cream base. So like that tool, you go through the exercise and then it says, okay, put your email, whatever, and then we'll send you whatever combination. And so just giving that lead, that's marketing. But then someone in sales has to take that lead and convert it.
Yeah.
That's sales. So we often have to do both. Like if you're a gigging magician, you have to find that lead, however you find it, through either, like you mentioned, a few service websites, or just putting literally Google ads and have someone land. Once they do send you the note they're interested or that request, you have to switch the marketing hat off and sell.
Yeah.
So I really like that book because it basically talked about 8 business concepts and in the order of importance. So they're like leadership, finance, et cetera, et cetera. At the bottom, you have marketing, but marketing is leadership is the most important, but marketing is the most comprehensive because it has to understand every single function of a business. Because you're the one that gives the message out at the end and crafts the message. So I really like that one. While you're pulling and telling me your list, I'm gonna find the exact name of the author.
One of my favorite books is Blue Fishing.
Blue Fishing.
Yeah, it talks about a little bit what I talked about earlier about like just going the extra mile for clients. And Denny, again, he is a guy that got me into reading books. And so it said, it's funny, Blaise, Says Blair said, this went from religion to magic to movies to spaghetti to business. That's what we love about Magic After Dark.
Every second of it. That's what we do. That's the show.
And I love, Alexander said, wow, this. And then he said, whole thing, guys, has me thinking. Great interview.
Happy you guys are enjoying it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Tigger T says we're all over the place in this stream. But that's what we love, is there's no framework. You're never going to have the same thing on Magic After Dark.
Arrange this, we did arrange the spaghetti thing, but
we did arrange the spaghetti
thing. I'm definitely going to check out this book, though, what you just linked, the Create and Orchestrate, the path to claiming your creative power from an unlikely entrepreneur.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not on YouTube to be able to share the link, but yeah, it's by Marcus Whitney. It's very affordable if you go on Amazon.
I'm going to download it right now on Audible.
Yeah, but I really like this, the 8 business concepts, and like the guy is really known like for more of his startup approach. But I keep telling any big organization, I'm like, you need to think like a startup because these guys are eating your business and your market share. So if you could be a large organization, but you need to be able to be agile and move quicker than you do now.
Yeah, and as you're scaling, it's like you're starting up different, new facets of it. So you have to act like a startup in different ways. all the time.
Yeah.
A book that I'm really into, that I've read like quite a few times, that I love is The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield.
Yeah.
Have you read that
Got
one?
that. Yep.
Can you say it again? The War?
The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. It's a great book. I recommend either the actual book or the audio book. It's about the career of the artist, you know, and he has this kind of concept that he brings up that he calls resistance, you know, and I think it's just like, you know, for him, he's an author, and so that's kind of his artistic facet, but it's these general guidelines and rules that apply to any artist in any field, and it's about just you know, and resistance kind of, you know, this concept of resistance that he introduces kind of encapsulates all of the different things that might be within your own mind that are stopping you from actually being productive and just sitting down and getting work as an artist, you know. And it's just kind of the idea of like, you know, he has different he has a chapter called You Inc., where he's like, think of yourself as You Incorporated. So that would be like Blaze Incorporated or ECAT Incorporated. And you, the business, now have to have a meeting with yourself and dictate what is the work that needs to be done. What is the thing that needs to be created? And then you kind of are delegating that to the worker. And it's a way of getting your ego out of it. And he talks about, you know, all of the fear and anxiety and whatever other things that might stop someone from just being productive and sitting down and getting to work. Because that's like the hardest part, you know. And I think that we all will make a lot of excuses or a lot of, you know, things that stop us, or a lot of barriers, you know, from actually just, you know, sitting down and being productive, which is like the most important thing when you're your own boss and you're deciding that you want to make
especially in a creative field.
Exactly. Yeah. It's an incredible book, especially just about being a creative and trying to take your creative passion from being just a passion to an actual career, you know, without necessarily like sacrificing any artistic integrity or anything like that, but actually being able to be the, you know, the best version of yourself as an artist. So it's a really good book, and definitely recommend that.
That one is a reader for me, not so much an Audible book. I've got the audio edition of it, and the narrator, I don't know if it was the guy that wrote it or not, is a little boring. Is a little hard for me to read. Is a little bit harder for me to go
audio one,
through.
but what I do is I put the audio one at like 1.5 times speed.
Yeah,
so it goes
you
a
have
little
to speed
bit
it up.
faster, you know. You have to speed them up a little bit. Yeah, Pressfield. I mean, the Audible one, I think that there's a version where it's not him, but then there's another one where it's actually the author reading it.
Yeah.
Is it the one that has random music that comes in at different chapters?
Oh, it's been a little while since I've read that one, but
that's a really good one. Yeah, and there was something I was going to say
the best, one of the best. So I mean, Bluefishing, definitely do it Audible, because the author reads it and he is amazing, and it's like, it's better than reading the book. And then this was the first book that, because I asked Denny was the guy that got me into Audible and stuff, and he said to me, you need to be reading more books on business and stuff all the time, and so he recommended The Third Door to me, and it was the first book I ever listened to. And I listened to the whole book in like 2 days. I couldn't stop listening to it because the author reads it, and he's so great at reading it, because his story is crazy, but it's always like, and I've actually bought it for clients and sent them it as a gift.
That's nice.
Because I knew like they were into business and into reading and stuff. And I was like, this is such a great book on like, this guy just says, he wants to write a book on how the most influential people got to where they're at. So people from nothing, basically. So he wants to talk to like Lady Gaga and stuff. And he wants to talk to, at the time it was like Bill Clinton or something, who, and he wants to talk to, Bill Gates and stuff. And so you go on this adventure with him, and you think that the book is going to be like all of this business stuff and like him interviewing these people, but you learn so much from his story of like what he's doing and how he's like not giving up and stuff. And that's why it's the third door, because there's always a front door and a back door, and if you can't get in, there's always a third door.
I love that.
And it's so great. And it changed the way I looked at things. So
That's fast.
Nice. I took note of all of them. Seriously, it's good. It's good. It's good.
Definitely check out Third Door. Yeah, and the one that you linked as well.
Third Door was like a life-changing book for me. I should listen to it again because it is so good to listen to. And it's Alex Banyan. Tigger T says, what's the guy's name? And Blue Fishing is Steve Sims. So yeah, both really awesome. Those are probably my two favorite business books to read.
Nice.
Also really Can't Hurt Me, David Goggins. Just recently.
Oh, David Goggins. The only thing is I had a hard time reading Goggins because I was like, there's some spots that are so unbelievable. Like he's like, I'm running this course with 2 broken legs, and I'm like, and he's like, I just duct tape my legs together, and I'm like,
but he actually did it. Is the crazy thing? Like there's.
But that's the thing. That's the thing.
I verify that he did it.
I need to see like X-rays of like broken legs. Like I understand that there's like your legs are broken where you feel like they're broken and you can't run and you have shin splints and you're duct taping yourself up. But the guy's like, I snapped my leg, and I'm like, really? I don't know about this. This is hard to believe. I know he's a beast. I listened to some of his motivational things. But there's some spots in that book I was like,
extraordinary. Like it sounds like this guy's just bragging, but it's because this guy actually did this crazy stuff. But like there was one part in the book where he's like, no, you can Google photos of this, and then I did, and I was like, oh yeah, that's real. It was when he wanted to. He just decided to break the world record for most pull-ups, and it took him like 6 attempts. And every time he ripped his hands open, so it's like,
but that I can believe.
Goggins pull-up hands. It's just like destroyed. Yeah, but it's just a book about like determination and like the idea of like how far you can push yourself, but not necessarily related to a business or art.
No, but it is really, really good. And I forget who there's another follow-up book to his book where, and it wasn't like Joe Rogan, it was someone else wanted to do something and had Goggins move in with him for
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I forget the name of it, but it was something like he just had him do crazy stuff, and like
it's his name's Jesse Itzler, and
that's it.
He wrote a book called like living with a seal or living with Goggins. And then it's like day one, he's like, all right, there's a thunderstorm and like hail and a blizzard. All right, let's go for a run. And then they go for a run, and he's like, all right, now do 1,000 pull-ups, and we're not leaving until you do them. It's like, what?
Yeah, it's like it's a crazy mentality. I mean, it's amazing. It obviously has been very successful for him and done well. But
I feel like we've gone so long, but we must find out.
I know. You know what's funny is I looked at the time too, and I'm like, wow, it's 1:30, but it doesn't feel late. But then I look at the other side, and I'm like, wow, we've gone for over 3 hours, and I'm like, that is long. But
this is really long.
The conversation has gone so.
I mean, we've had like 4.5 hour long episodes, but we're not trying.
We're not trying to beat records.
I think you mentioned the record, right? I don't think I can beat that.
Yeah, no, it's too long. It's too long. But we do have one more segment if you're up for it, ECAT, and then we'll end on that.
All right, here we go.
It's that time. It's time for my favorite rhyme. It's time for the IQ test. Let's see if you're better than the rest. It's time for the IQ test. Let's see if you're better than the rest. Did your teachers call you smart? Or more of an epidemic brain fart? It's about time we see. Can you count? 1, 2, 3. Let's see if the answers will agree. Can you count? 1, 2, 3.
ECAT, it's time.
All right, I feel the pressure.
We're gonna find out. Yeah, IQ. So, Question 1, numero uno.
How do you put a giraffe into a refrigerator?
I feel like I'm prepared for this one. So you open the refrigerator door and you put the giraffe.
Okay, she's pretty smart. Pretty smart.
Pretty smart. However, comma,
But
what do you do?
not smart enough for this IQ test.
Should we
Wait,
reveal
what do
the
you
answer?
do?
Yeah, not smart enough. You're
Not
very
smart
smart. I mean, medical background and stuff, but
You open the door of the you open the door of the refrigerator, you put the giraffe and you close the door.
Hey,
I think we helped her there a little bit.
help her there. All right, we can give her
half point.
we can give her like 0.75.
Yeah,
Wait,
that's high.
Just
that's high.
going into the IQ, I just realized the comment section is here also. So
you didn't see the comment section.
And now I'm looking at some comments, and I even see some Russian from Eugene and things like that. Sorry, guys.
I was going to say, he said, Ekat, aren't your hands itching to show us some cardistry?
And then what did he say in Russian?
He said, are we really not going to see anything? Maybe after I failed the IQ test, I'll show you.
Yes, the correct answer is open the refrigerator, put the giraffe in, and close the door. This question.
Okay, I was close.
Simple things in a complicated way. All right, we're on to question numero dos. How do you put an elephant into a refrigerator?
So you open the door, you remove the giraffe, you put the elephant, and you close the door.
I think Spidey gave her their answers.
Whoa, what's going on, Ekat? What kind of show are we running here?
She did some research on this one.
We played the intro song and everything for this?
She may have watched a previous episode and saw this.
I did my homework, guys.
Yes, that is correct.
That is correct.
All right.
Maybe I should do cardistry at the same time here.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Distract yourself. All right. Question 3.
The Lion King is hosting an animal conference. All the animals attend except for one. Which animal does not attend?
The elephant, because he's still in the fridge. Because we put the giraffe.
Ryan, I'm upset.
I'm just going to leave now.
We give you new segments, and this is what you hit us with? Yes, correct. The elephant. The elephant is in the refrigerator. Just test your memory. All right. On to question 4.
But I almost forgot that. I was like, was it the giraffe?
You almost forgot?
Almost forgot. Yeah, she studied this.
Forgot from when you read the cheat sheet?
Not only did she
when you snuck into the teacher's desk and stole it out?
Look at that. Not only did she practice the penne game before coming on so she could beat me, but
I like to be prepared.
that's the one I know how to do. There we go.
All right. Yes, Say said cheating at the
Cheating.
secret test.
To be honest with you, I did cheat in most of my exams at school, even though I was pretty smart. I'm telling you, I got caught even once I got caught. Yeah.
You got caught cheating?
Yeah. And the teacher was nice. And the
Wow.
teacher was so disappointed. She had like a parents meeting and she's like, I'm so disappointed. I consider her like an angel in my class. She was getting 100% all the time. Anyway.
Because she was cheating. Yeah.
My mom just ignored it because my mom was like I hit and run a car before and the car realized because there was paint of that car left on my car. And she was like, nope, that's not my daughter. They're like, but there's paint on her car. I was like, nope, got her mistaken.
Nope, that's not it.
Wait, so then there was another question you forgot to ask.
Oh, yes, there is.
Look at that.
Question.
She knows that there's 4 questions.
How did you know? How about you tell me what the 4th question is, Ekat, before I even scroll?
Yeah, do you know what the answer is? Look at
I
that.
think the answer is all the animals are busy. Oh, would you cross if there was crocodiles? But you don't have to cross because the animals are in the conference.
What is this?
She literally pre-watched.
Okay, we'll bring her back.
You just made me disappear. What's up?
That's it. We
kicked you out.
out.
Wow.
Wow,
What?
yeah. We usually put it
Where
like
did you
2
see
hours
the
or
test?
Did I just confess to hit and run? It was a long time ago.
Hit and run and confess to cheating at
It
the
was a long
sacred
time ago.
test. Unacceptable.
I should,
Oh.
Was
There
it
we go.
from Spidey? From Spidey, or who
No,
gave you?
well, no. I started. I didn't watch from like A to Z any of them, but I tried as much as I can. So I like was skipping through. But there was this specific test that came up in one of the episodes that I was just like trying to go through, and yeah, I thought I'm gonna fail 100%, so I have to listen a bit carefully.
Man, all right.
Oh,
Well,
boy.
yes.
Well, so you
Yes.
get a 0 for
Cross it out.
cheating.
Yeah, you get a negative 500.
When we make the
Wow.
full chart, it'll say, Colin Cloud got 4 out of 4. Xavier Spade, 4 out of 4. And then we'll have
Fair
Wins
enough.
got like a
subset.
half point, and ECAT still got less than that.
Yeah.
No, but to be honest with you guys, I would not have answered properly any of these questions if I didn't know the answer.
Yeah,
well,
I
that's
think
good.
that we
So
need
you got
to.
a 0.
Well, I think this was a sign because this was the first episode where we incorporated new segments, and I feel like this was the sign that we need new segments. It might be getting time to drop the IQ test. It's an end of an era because even though we try to hide the IQ test 3 hours into the episode, we still have cheating scumbags. No. Whoa, that was cool. Whoa, is that the Russian pyramid?
That's the Russian pyramid. Yeah, it was a bit.
I
I
know
missed how- I
because
looked
Cedric
down for a
earlier
second.
said to check out Pure on Theory 11, and I Googled it, and right here I saw the Russian pyramid. So
Yeah, the top is the hardest part because you don't have much support. I'm gonna lose that one.
Yeah, that is crazy.
But I hope that was a good dose of cardistry for whoever who asked.
yes, that was Eugene the Libertarian.
And there you go.
Yes. Eugene, I remember
Boom.
Eugene because he's been following the show pretty frequently. He's been on a lot of the weeks, and he also was in. He followed the 1v1 Magic tournament, and I remember he called out Mike and I because we kept saying like over and over. So I improved my diction because of Eugene. So
I remember my first time on video.
We all remember our first time.
I used to
On
say
video.
cool all the time. I'd be like, hey, I was doing Street Magic for a TV show, and I was like, hey, can you shuffle a deck? Cool. I'll take back the deck. Cool. Yeah, watch this. Cool. It was like David Blaine saying, watch. It was just
do
bad.
you talk about yourself in the third person a lot? Like, so what I'm gonna do is, and then I'm gonna. It's like, why are you saying that? Just do it.
Yeah, that's a good point. No, I don't think. Maybe I do. I don't know. When I perform.
I feel like I just see that a lot in Magic. I think biggest
true,
pet peeve in Magic is magicians being condescending towards non-magicians for no reason. Like, for example, a magician will ask someone to sign a card, and they'll be like, "Oh, what a beautiful signature! Everybody, give it up for Stacy! What a beautiful signature!" It's like, well, she just wrote her name. Like, you're acting condescending as if that's a big deal.
Yeah, it's true.
By the
Well,
way, someone in
Stacy
the
has a major issue, and she can't spell. So
yeah, exactly.
the first
No,
step.
just being supportive. Just being supportive of Stacy.
Tigger says, "How about asking her a riddle?" That was another episode that we did. We did it last week, I guess. It's kind of a new thing, but
yeah, it was.
Or was it a few weeks ago? Yeah,
I think it was a few weeks ago. Yeah. But Ekat, do you have any ghost stories?
No.
It just came out of nowhere. We've never done that as a segment.
that was never a segment.
That was never a segment. Do you have any ghost stories? I was just hoping. What if she busted into the craziest story we've ever had on the show, though? It was just
that would have been great. I mean, right now her background kind of looks like she's on a TV interview where she is that person that's like, so I've heard noises.
And in that angle, because I couldn't face my camera.
Exactly.
Like interview.
No. I have seen them a few times when I was walking down the hall. No, that's
we play
so.
the ghoul box.
One thing we like to do every week is we do a giveaway at the end of the episode for those people who have watched the whole time because they are dedicated fans of the show. And so what we like to do is ask a question that of something that came up during the episode. So we usually go back somewhere to the start. So maybe something out of 20 questions or something like that.
So I don't know what the prize is, but I'll throw in a Fox playing cards there.
Oh, thank you.
See, she is always giving. Magic community. This girl is. Thank you, Ekat. What they win is they win any download on Lost Art Magic of their choice, so they can get anything on the website or any download, and we'll send that to them as well. So, so what question should we ask tonight?
I think I have a question, but you might have a better one. But my question, because it came up a couple times, was what year was the last time ECAT went to a Magic convention?
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
I like that. That's pretty tough, but it's good because they're going to get a deck of cards as well as a download. So if you know what year was the last year that ECAT went to a Magic convention, comment in the comment section now. I feel like that's going to be a tough one.
People in here that have been here for hours. Says has been here from the beginning.
Says has been here.
I see.
Oh, Tigger just popped it up.
Wow.
Whoa, Tigger T with the 2011.
Tigger
Well done.
Hit up myself or Blaze on. He did take
Tigger,
another
why
guess.
did you ruin it by throwing in 2000?
I thought you were paying attention there. You're just guessing.
Yeah.
Tigger, you're just shotgunning these and just hoping for the best.
He's like 2009, 2010, 2011.
That's like throwing a dart and hitting a bullseye and then just pulling it out and moving it off the board. Yeah.
That one didn't count. That was my practice.
That was your warm-up swing.
But
yes, Tigger, send us a DM. You get any product that you
And
like.
I'll get the mailing address from Ryan or Blaze.
So Tigger T, hit us up with your mailing address as well. He says, I get confused by numbers. But I don't think 2008 ever came up in conversation.
I don't think so either.
Cool.
That was fun, guys. I had a blast. This was definitely like one of my favorite chats with anyone here on a stream-like platform. And Ryan, you have to tell me when you're coming in the area. And Blaze, I don't know, we need to at some point meet up.
Yeah,
I know.
If you're in this area or if I'm up in Canada, definitely.
Devin messaged me today that my tuxedo was ready today. It was getting finished today, and he said, "Are you coming back to Montreal to pick it up, or should I mail it to you?" And I was like, "My wedding's in like 2 weeks. You should probably mail it to me at this point. We're just so crazy busy."
Overnighted,
But Tigger says he doesn't have Instagram. But you have Discord. He's on the Discord, right?
Tigger, go to I don't know if I necessarily know Tigger, but yeah, Tigger, go to 1v1magic.com. You can see in the bottom corner down here, 1v1magic.com. You can join the Magic Discord, and then you can just say, "Hey, I'm Tigger T," and
I put it. So if ever it takes too long, because a download, you don't really need a mailing address, but it's info@ecatmagic.com. So you can email me if you don't have Instagram to DM.
That's true. Easier. You can always hit me at ryan@mentalism.ca as well. Or on Facebook. Sweet. Well, we
thank you.
Always like to end the episode the way we started. So,
Wait, I have to join in?
Yeah, of course.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us tonight. We will see you next week, Wednesday, 10 p.m. on Magic After Dark.